Getting into game one here, Aurora against Heroic. I love when I don't get asked. I was ready to just say, I agree with you, Lacoste. That's always my go-to answer. But yeah, I mean, Skywrath, Silence, the Ancient Seal, going to be pretty difficult to, you know, deal with here for this puck.
But considering that this was the first puck pick overall, I do feel like they could have used something else. Like, these are not reliable things other than Skywrath Mage Silence, which is the best silence in the game. Primal Beast has some control, not the easiest way to use it on puck, and there's also a save coming out from Abaddon. Heroes are not the easiest to kill on Aurora to start with. This is Abaddon, which he doesn't die. Then you also have puck, you have Brewmaster as well. In terms of the burst damage, Primal Beast, he deals damage over time. Like, it's not like the instant burst of damage. Skywrath Mage, when he's paired up with him, they can try to burst potentially Brewmaster. But I feel like if WS gets the split off in the fights, it gets very difficult. We're talking about some like 20-25 minute fights where you have Abaddon with Radiance, Manta style, a lot of these things running around. There's going to be a lot of confusing fights for Heroic to take the fight. And both of the supports, they don't like to play into Abba, they don't like to play into Puck, and they don't like to play into Brewmaster when he uses Split.
Well, we'll see how it ends up going because these resets and these kind of regos here for Aurora might be troublesome for Heroic, especially, you know, they are working with 3 melee cores. If you just kind of get some distance, it might be a little bit difficult. There, I would say almost singular egg hitter is the Ursa. So an egg in a good position as well from Kaori. I really am a bit worried about this Heroic lineup. For these heroes to not only have the control,
yeah, these are
have the second wave of a damage, you know?
3 melee heroes against Brewmaster, against the Phoenix as well, who can keep the distance. This is 5 Phoenix, it's not a core Phoenix, but if things go well for them, it can get pretty difficult. Also, in terms of egg protection, they don't have anything crazy. There is a Lion, depending whether the Brewmaster got the split off, but also the miss chance is going to be there. You're going to be playing against Phoenix, which makes it way more difficult for you to hit it, of course. And I don't know, I feel like I've been very impressed by the Brewmaster performances. This is the hero that can build into any item. If we're talking about, I'll hold that thought for now. Let's see if Mira's going to be in trouble.
Earth Spike to try and survive, slowing him down. Mira getting some distance between him and Yuma, and it looks like he'll be A-okay. Just for you viewers at home, WS, he is not taking damage currently. He is just on fire from a glitched item.
He's in fire stance, that's why.
Yeah,
he didn't even skill yet.
He's got Trail of the Burning Doom on his weapon, so he's got that glitched cosmetic action going on for him. But don't worry, he'll be okay. It's a rare one, a rare hero to see have glitched cosmetic. A lot of the same heroes got them. But we'll see how WS does. I feel like we've seen him when we've cast together previously and really been impressed with some of his play, especially on the Brewmaster.
Yeah, he's a hero specialist. He's the one who also plays offlane Phoenix if necessary, so they are using this Phoenix pick as a flex if it's a good game for it. But as I said, been very impressed by Brewmaster as a hero. It makes it very easy to play considering that you only have 3 stances, you only have 3 primal splits that you need to control. It makes the hero easier to play, and also your status resistance is tied to your liquid courage now. The hero feels good. Like that's the, like, I don't know if you're a Brewmaster player or you guys who are watching, but it makes it so much easier to play. It only takes like 2 games to be like, oh, this is the old Brewmaster that I'm kind of used to seeing, that I'm kind of used to playing. And also, I've seen different itemization coming out from Brewmaster, whether we're talking about maybe you're getting Orchid and then you're playing with your mid laner, so a good amount of that. It was MOUZ, I think, during the previous tournament, or one before. We have a bunch of tournaments where He's building into Orchid. Storm Spirit is just paired up with him. They are lacking control, so he goes for that item. Aghanim Scepter is the key item on the hero. You can build drums, you can build Spirit Vessel. Midas into Aghanim Scepter feels also good. And he's not falling off. Before he had this issue where the hero falls off relatively quickly if you don't get something done with your first, with your second split early on. But now it doesn't feel the same way.
Definitely a hero that can stick with it the entire ways through. And see Makoto thinking about going towards the illusory orb bottom, but Theokor is there. This is the level 2 Sky holding a skill point. Maybe if he found the opportunity to help out and get that Ancient Seal out or go work with that, but Tailong is going to be able to survive Makoto for a moment. Illusory orb onslaught back over towards the mid lane and grabbing a couple creeps for his troubles. But Makoto dealing with these two heroes off the mid lane. And Theokor takes a lot of damage. Ancient Seal comes in. He's got that shield, but it won't be enough. Makoto getting first blood on the Skywrath Mage. And Tailong, he has to walk all the way back. So this is a big advantage being gained by this
QE1, he was really pushing the limits on Primal Beast. And Makoto getting a kill. Also, why is this guy called Tioli Core if he's playing a support?
Would you like him to change his name?
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. They also, like, it's just something weird with this team. You have King Jungles, the guy doesn't even play the jungle. It's like he starts in the lane.
Bunch of liars on this team. Concussive shot over onto Kaori. As top lane, Mira in some trouble, but they were trying to help out with the Brewmaster. Mira's still on the run. Might be able to make it away from this Bear's Claws if he could just walk out, but that last right click lands, and Yuma's got himself a kill this time, taking out the Lion.
And this Whisper dude as well. Like, I saw a bunch of interviews. Like, he never whispers.
You're still on this? Man.
Anyway, good kill. Mira died.
6-minute rune is going to be showing up in just 10 seconds. Phoenix and Lion are both over here mid. Sky is close, but this does look as though it'll be control for Aurora, and it will be that illusion rune picked up for Makoto, so not, the worst one to give up. 6 minutes as they hit the Hex. They'll have the illusory orb, onslaught through, but Makoto going to be able to continue on to Theokor, throws out that Dream Coil, is trying to get more than one kill here, but they end up trading Mira. Tailong is in trouble, but this disruption, is it enough to get the save? Can he illusory orb and follow him up? No, he can't. Kaori is dead. KJ under the tower now. Makoto, well, they'll look over and get KJ, but they don't get the Primal. But again, another couple of kills here for Makoto, pushing that mid laner out of the lane and having it solo for a bit there too.
Man, we've seen in the previous series what Puck can do when he's off to a good start. And we said there's only one hero that can kind of control Puck in this game. That's going to be Skywrath Mage. If you're the one getting the first initial jump on him, getting the silence, hitting him with the Witchblade, this hero is just going to die to 3 of your spells. And now King Jungles, he's in trouble. Retune, he's here.
Thinking about swiping this shrine and give it over to Kaori. Didn't want to take it himself. TP towards the top lane as there is a fight happening there. We'll see if they can continue to get the shrine. Actually, the puck stayed still and stayed over. Yuma now fighting Mira, gets that kill, looks over at WS, will get that, and he's gonna get the shrine.
Even Yuma's laughing like, what the hell just happened? Like, these are professional e-athletes that are getting paid salaries to die like that.
When you put it like that, you really make it sound much worse. They're getting paid to die, e-athletes. Okay, Pulverize, Trample, Makoto, Illusory Orb to get onto the low ground and get away from this Primal Beast. Theo, of course, trying to get some damage out, but Makoto hiding within these trees, staying out of vision, and now they get the kill to Tailong. They'll look over at Theo, who ends up dying to Kaori. Whisper is in. He's got a Ravage available, but the Illusory Orb looking for KJ, and he'll get the kill there too. So 3 kills for the side of Aurora. Whisper, he's got full health, he's got a salve, he's pretty tanky, he shouldn't die to this, he's also got Ravage. They won't go his way, but they do get 3 kills elsewhere.
Man, Mikoto's like, yeah, I gotta replicate. My team's feeding. I gotta keep up with this Ursa, who just got XP rune, double kill for free, level 7 on top of the net worth, 4.5k at 8 minutes 30 seconds. I don't think you can ask for a better start on Ursa.
Well, that is a pretty perfect start. Force feeding it into him, as they had 2 heroes over there. I don't know if there's a bear equivalent to foie gras, but that's what they're doing by feeding him forcefully like that.
Hey, it's when you visit your Slavic grandmother, this is what happens. You're like, I'm not hungry, but she doesn't take no for an answer. You gotta eat. Yeah, you look so skinny.
I'm stuffed, please. I've only experienced that a few times. Whisper, Earth Spike, Sunray on him. He'll use that Ravage, and that will land onto 3. We'll get Kaori for his troubles. And then Whisper, now they will go over Ancient Seal on Makoto. Yuma's over. V-Tune popping that borrowed time. They're not even hitting him, so he's going to be on a 4th of that health. Yuma might just turn this and get the kill to the Abaddon, and that's exactly what he does. Makoto jumps forward, and now they're trying to get the mana away from this Ursa. Yuma, he's got this Primal Split in front of him. WS is going to Cyclone him up. The old core staying over to the side. Maybe thinking about getting that Ancient Seal out. Disruption for the save. Avoiding that Earth Spike. But they're still going forward onto Yuma. They've got Taiwan coming around the corner of this Rosh pit. Makoto waning Rift into the Rosh pit. Yuma's still here. He might jump over there too. But he's down to a quarter health. They go to the Ancient Seal. They've got the silence out of this puck. They're still chasing. Kaori's here. Sunray to try and keep him alive. He'll end up dying. They get the kill to Yuma finally. Whisper coming back over. He died, if you remember, 30 seconds ago. Mira, he'll end up dying to Tai Lung, and now WS doesn't have the Primal Spin. He's got the help of V-Tune and 3 heroes chasing from the side of Heroic.
What the hell is going on?
Kaori dead for the 2nd time in this fight as WS is on the run. He's got the help from the Aphotic Shield, and Whisper, he is not going to chase. WS will finally get away, and the fight, I'm just checking, it is over.
It is over. Never back down. This is pretty much whoever backs down first loses. Like I like that Abaddon V-Tune. He's also going in, and like nobody's hitting him. He could have just easily ran back, and I think he would be fine. Another coil.
Looking to get this Shadow Demon. KJ silenced up with Waning Rift. He does try to get some help from the Skywrath Mage with the Polywog Charm, but KJ, unfortunately, Theo Core couldn't save his little PogChamp there with the Polywog Charm, and KJ ends up dying to V-Tune.
This also benefits hero like Abaddon, who's not the fastest farmer. If we talk about like certain heroes, like he can't match up with the farms from some others, but he's getting some assist gold. He's getting some last hits. He only died once, and he's gonna be relieved of some pressure in the next minute or so because he can just leave. He can leave this area. He lost the tower, and once you get to your relic, then you're kind of Gucci. And then once you get to your Radiance, this is where your farm is going to start to increase. Yuma, Battle Fury finished, 12 minutes in.
You become very Gucci, but when do you become very Louis Vuitton? Anyway.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with these fancy brands. Don't have enough money for it.
This guy's wearing Crocs over here.
Didn't have to call me out like that.
Kaori with the Icarus time away, but there are 3 heroes chasing him as he'll Sunray over the cliff and through the woods, getting away from these heroes as Makoto almost thinking about going in, but everybody's here for Heroic. Yeah, Yuma's a little bit far, but he can make his way over through the river eventually. Whisper sitting mid. Just keeping the pressure on to the tier 1 tower, continuing to farm going into the pipe, as he's already got that Ring of Tarask, so he's got that extra HP regen. Close game overall in the net worth department of the kills, but still an amazing start for this Ursa, sitting at 7,000 net worth already. Mystic Flare, Pulverize, Ancient Seal, WS never stood a chance. He gets the Midas in death, but Yuma with another kill and more gold going his way.
He's getting all the last hits. V-Tune, he's here. Rest of the team is smoked up. They want to use Finger. Mikoto, coil ready.
Everybody showing up again. Blink forward onslaught. They've got the stun on the Makoto. Aphotic Shield. But they don't go for more.
One thing we said about Aurora is their heroes are very difficult to kill. You have Brewmaster, you have Abaddon, Puck is also quite elusive. But Heroic, on the other side, you have two extremely tanky boys. One is about to have Pipe finished, and Ursa with status resistance, who has insane amount of farm for this stage of the game. Damage right now on Aurora is lacking a little bit. First Primal Split. It didn't grant him the kill. No finger stacks yet. Mira.
XWS coming in, air spikes in. Ancient Seal to silence up the Brew, but they got the finger, and Makoto will get the kill on Tai Long. He doesn't have the help from the rest of his team, and he ends up dying alone. He'll end up now, was 3-1-1 before. He's now sitting 3-2-2 after a couple of fights. But Whisper, he's been moving around a lot. Now he's got this shield rune to work with. So effective HP is pretty high for him if they want to take a fight. But he can definitely put himself at the front of the creep wave and continue to pressure the tier 1 if he so chooses to. Full pipe flying out for him.
Most of the damage on their side is magical. There isn't that much right-click damage. So once Heroic picks up this pipe, it's going to be quite difficult for Aurora to take the fights.
I'm going to say these fights have been a little bit difficult for Aurora.
The fights have been very chaotic.
Yeah. It's so tough to figure out who's getting the better of
Lion.
3 minutes fights. Is he? Well, oh. All right.
He said it's hard to figure out. And
he's going Blink Dagger, and he's a bit away from it. He could use some time solo in a lane. Yuma continuing with this Battle Fury, farming up these stacks in the jungle. He's got his Blink Dagger. He is just so farmed. The one thing that really sticks out in this game is Yuma's farm, and he is so far ahead compared to anybody else, especially that Abaddon. 2,300 net worth lead over his position opponent.
he needs to catch up. Once the Radiance is done, it's going to be much easier. Still, 16-minute Radiance. Still okay.
They've got vision on both these heroes. This ward sees everything. Blink, Mystic Flare, Ancient Seal, Primal Split immediately, but they'll end up losing Mira. And now maybe the chase is on to get a kill on a Theo Core. But Tai Long finds Makoto, as they've got one of the Pandas back with him. They'll use that Dream Coil, stun him up for a moment, still trying to put the damage on Theo Core, but they've got themselves the disruption saved. Whisper moving forward, Ancient Seal is out, WS trying to TP out. They'll use that Ravage, they'll get that kill, they'll take out the Brew, and that's going to be 2 here for the side of Heroic. KJ getting that save out of the Skywrath Mage, and Tai Long's gonna have Blink Dagger eventually. Yuma's trying to stick with him as the Illusory Orb jumps forward, and now just hit down so hard by this bear, but the Earth Spike gets the control. They go to the trample there on top of Makoto. They'll finish him off. That's gonna be a third. Mira back into the fight for the second time as Abaddon's gonna show up. He can't really help out Mira. Mira's dead for the second time in this engagement, and they will finally back away and TP out from Yuma up into the top lane and continue to farm and accelerate his game even more.
Very clean execution from Heroic. In this and in the previous engagement, 1-2 combo that you have with Primal Beast and Skywrath Mage, you can pretty much kill any hero on the map except for Abaddon, because his ulti is gonna proc, but every other hero is sustainable to dying. The insane amount of damage that you do have with just Ancient Seal, which is maxed out, so that's extra 35% magic damage that you're gonna be taking.
It's a significant chunk. That is a big percentage. Nobody's ever saying no to an extra 35% of anything. Blink Dagger now available for Tidehunter. Pipe, Blink, going Shard. Wants it Yules after that. We saw, obviously, in the previous series, Aghanim Scepter being built by Tide.
Yeah, this time around, I think he wants to be in the middle of the fight. That's why he is getting those items instead, compared to the previous one where Ace wanted to keep the distance. They were playing off of the toss back, keeping the distance, and just making sure that he doesn't die. He was playing into OD, he was playing into break mechanic as well. And now into Roshan. Between 15 and 18 minutes, if you can find something. Ravage is not available, but they feel like with Pipe, Aurora is not going to be going in and trying to contest this, even though they are going to be using scans, so they will try to get the most out of the side lanes, try to get as much farm as possible. Problem is, with this good of a start, Ursa, he's the one controlling all the objectives. By all the objectives, everything besides tower. That's the downside of Ursa. He doesn't really kill the towers quickly, but Roshan and Tormentor, seems like that's going to belong to Heroic.
Checked off. And not only that, he's about to have another item here. He's about to have this BKB. He is just forming so quickly. What's the game plan for Aurora? Like, does late game even feel good enough for you?
I mean, Puck is a menace in the late game. Abaddon can be very annoying. Brewmaster, it depends. Like, you still have insane amount of damage that can actually kill the Brewlings. Cleave from Ursa if you don't split them. It really depends who's starting the fight. Let's say you're the one getting the split, you're using the Yules, you're putting him in the air with the Cyclone, then the Brewlings are not gonna die. If you're engaging onto the supports in the backlines, but right now, they don't have that jump. The only one who can jump the backline is gonna be Puck, who has a Blink Dagger, but nobody else can play with Puck.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Puck's also very vulnerable.
He is. He's gonna need a defensive item. He doesn't have anything queued up yet. I want to see if this is gonna be a BKB or if he's gonna be getting a Yule Scepter of his own, because you need some kind of a dispel. Nobody on the team can help you unless it's gonna be Abaddon playing with you, playing close to you. And even if you like trying to get that save, potentially if you're getting pulverized with the second pulverize, especially the third one with the facet, the ferocity, AoE gets bigger. And it's just gonna stun you. Like, you're not be able to get it away straight up, and that's why Puck is building a Lincoln Sphere. It's a more expensive item. I thought he might get one smaller item and then go for Lincolns, because he definitely needs this. It's great against Silence, it's great against Primal Beast Grab, of course, and look at how casually Whisper is dragging the creep wave in front of their noses, and there's not much they can do about it.
Kaori almost killed by Yuma. Is the Lincoln's the best choice? I'm wondering, like...
I would say yes, out of the three, but it's also... Yeah, but it's also very, very expensive item to buy.
Right. We'll see if it ends up being enough once he does get it, if he does get it in time, because it does feel like Heroic are kind of putting this heavy pressure on, where he may not even get that opportunity. Mira ends up dead. Taiwan going in with the help of Theo Core. They've got this combo continuing to have that 1-2 punch. Jab, uppercut, and now a turnaround. An attempt to try and get a kill here onto the Skywrath Mage, and will find success in killing off Theo Core. It seems Makoto can still get it done in some ways, but he needs to be very certain about what he's trying to accomplish. And now he actually TP'd bottom to 3 heroes. He ends up not jaunting over to that illusory orb, staying back and waiting, rifting away from this tier 2 tower that's going to be taken by the side of the Dire. Now I'm thinking about moving in. They've got the tier 1 tower still sitting still. Ooh, might be able to stop the TP if we can find him. Whoa! Not going to be able to stop the TP. Now the rotations are coming over. They're going to wrap around with the smoke. Who are they going to find? Hex, the Finger, and the Sunray. That's going to get the Aegis out of the hands of the Ursa, but now Whisper moving forward. He'll throw out that Ravage. That only lands on a 2. The Blink away right into the hands of Kaori. He's not able to get the Supernova off. Forced to buy back. Silence now. Pipe popped by this Tidehunter. Jumping forward. Got the Pulverize. That's going to land on Makoto. The Mystic Flare is down. They get the Silence out onto the Abaddon. They get the kill into Makoto. Whisper on the run. Now ends up dead to V-Tune. The borrowed time has run out. The sands of time are now going back towards this Abaddon, and it's not looking good. KJ dies to WS. They'll jump onto V-Tune. The right clicks are there with the BKB being popped by Yuma. They had the Cyclone as the Primal split from WS, but he goes back to form, and now they'll hit him with that Ancient Seal and thinking about jumping back in. Mira, Kaori, as well as WS are the only ones here, but Mira, well, killed off in 2 shots. Supernova ends up getting used. They've got the Yules.
Overpowered in a second.
He's got the shots, and he'll get the kill. Kaori ends up dead. Another Ancient Seal. Gonna be on the WS that chases on with the Trample, and it's a full wipe and then some for the side of Heroic.
That Ravage, it was pretty much the zoning Ravage. Didn't really do much. It was on the Ursa's respawn coming out of that Aegis. but they managed to clean up. We said that like they need to pretty heavily commit. They need to commit with pretty much everything to be able to kill one of these tanky cores. They do kill Tidehunter, and then you have Primal Beast coming in with multiple rounds of spells. He wants to play the longer fight. So does Ursa, and Kaori comes back. He uses buyback. Dies again. It was very close from Egg from going off. I think he still dies afterwards nonetheless. But yeah, also I want to see what Ursa's going to be buying next. Whether that's going to be MKB, you are playing against Brewmaster, which can be pretty annoying. You are playing against Phoenix, the mischance coming out from the Blinding Sun, and also Radiance. They killed him pretty quickly here.
He knew where he wanted to go right after when he respawned. He jumped right on top of Kaori. Blew him up so quickly. And then Whisper, he'll eventually die here, but Split use, Pulverize, Mystic Flare, silencing up V-Tune can't help with the Aphotic Shield at all. And then Borrow Time, sure, you're back to full health, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. 2 lives, 3 lives. Seems like they can rip right through them all, especially with where Yuma's sitting in net worth. And he got the Basher off that fight. And then a bit of more gold off this, especially killing Mira, and then going and getting the kill on a Kaori. A big influx for him. WS ends up getting caught. This Mystic Flare and these silences are so devastating for the Skywrath Mage.
Aurora, they need to win the fight when the spells are up. They need to win the fight with Supernova, Coil, and the Split. If they're playing the longer fight, they're definitely losing it because they're going to be able to reset Primal Beast, one of the better heroes, I would say, in general, to play the longer fight. His spells are on the relatively short cooldown, 16 seconds on both Trample and Onslaught, multiple rock throws, Pulverize level 2, which brings it down to 35 seconds, and he is going for Aghanim Scepter, which is pretty nice in this game. They have Silence from Skywrath Mage, and if they apply Break mechanic, Abaddon's ulti is not gonna proc. He does have Manta style, so at least that's something. But also being able to break Brewmaster is pretty big. No status resistance, no extra bit of a move speed coming out for him.
Yuma getting Mira again. And taking on the line, we took a look at Theo Akora's inventory for a second, and he's got that Midas. He's so farmed. You look at him compared to the other supports, he's got so much gold.
He got the shard as well. If he gets the free cast in the fight, it's going to be insane amount of damage.
Yeah.
He has Greedy, 75 GPM, and he also has Searing Signet. He's going to start to scale. He's actually going to become another core if this game goes on for longer.
We'll try to kill him this time. Croaker help. Disruption help. V-Tune is here. Mira back in. Earth Spike fingered, but the Cyclone, not the symphony of skills that they would have liked in that situation. KJ gonna get run down. 2 years dead on the side of Heroic. BKB being popped by Yuma. Immediately going to the TP, and they will bail on this one, losing both supports.
Ursa would still be fine, but they need to be on the same page. There was no Ravage this time around. Supports need to be also close to Tidehunter. They need to be playing around their cores because they are the ones that can save them with the grab, potentially with the Ravage and Pipe.
And we were talking about this Lincolns for Makoto. He is still far away from it.
Got the most expensive component, that's what matters.
Now, on top of all that, you're wanting to avoid this silence, and yeah, you're going to get this Lincolns, but it might just end up meaning that instead of getting silence, you just get hexed by the Tide who just picked up that Scythe of Ice.
It's so much control. He also has Shard on Tidehunter. Skywrath Mage got the Shard from previous Tormentor, which means there's going to be more farm coming out his way and more damage in the fights. V-Tune has been pretty silent after the laning stage. Didn't manage to do as much as he wanted to.
What's he hoping for in 7 minutes that this Dormant Curio is going to give him?
Where are we at right now? In 7 minutes.
On the tier 4s, what from the tier 4 list is going to be what he chooses with the Dormant Curio?
From carry roll, probably. I mean, Rattle Cage is good if you don't find anything better, but most likely you want to be getting Flare's DOTA. This is the item that allows you to get that extra bit of damage, you get the attack speed, and then it resets. I think from the tier 4 neutral items, Giant Small is probably the worst choice, but there aren't many like carry options. Like if you want to be dealing damage, if you don't get Flare's DOTA, Giant Small is probably the second best option, but it's on such a long cooldown. It's on 50-second cooldown.
What's a DOTA?
I have no clue.
Never.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Bot A.
I could
Bot A and Bot B casting this game.
Jump in on a V2. They're going to try and get this kill to the Abaddon, but don't quite have the damage to get him. I don't want to overcommit.
Under attack.
Rosh is up, so they could go get an Aegis. I'm going to just give a little searchy search on DOTA, because I've never seen some of these words. They really try to make me feel stupid. What is a DOTA? As they go for this Rosh, get themselves an Aegis.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a leather bottle.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I mean, they were also, as they look for Ursa, Sunray. Finger, but not the damage that they were hoping for. Mira might end
Rock
up
hits
dead.
him.
Rock does land. They'll stop that TP. They get the kill to Mira as well as WS. So Flare's DOTA, they were halfway to just writing the word bottle. They could have just B-O-T. They were halfway there. And they chose DOTA instead. Anyway, 2 kills onto Aurora. And Heroic now dealing and still having this Aegis for another 4 minutes.
Their tower damage isn't really insane. They need to take the fight. Ursa can deal some. Overpowered. It gets easier once you're level 25. Extra 3 overpower attacks, but it's nothing too crazy. Kaori inside the enemy base. We'll TP back.
Safe place to leave from. Guardian Greaves for KJ, by the way.
Yeah, and the medium Lotus. That's going to be a good amount of heal. He also wants to pick up the shard. It's very important to pick up these Lotuses, especially when the game goes on. It's so much healing.
Makoto. Dream Coil popping the Lincolns, but the rock gets thrown. He gets stunned for a second. And will Illusory Orb jaunt away or try to Yumazim Mystic Flare with the Abyssal, and they get the kill on Makoto anyway.
Well, there is a Tormentor right here. Yuma can't take it alone. Hex
Mira
in action, Whisper.
I say Mira, but yeah, it is Whisper who's the one in trouble. He's looking for the high 5, and now will Ravage. Still on the run. Mira hits that finger with the Earth Spike combo and gets his 3rd stack, but Yuma's coming in. The rock thrown over, stuns onto 3. I think it hit V2 to the back as well. Kaori ends up dead. The look over at Mira. Earth Spike not going to matter. He'll end up falling, and that will be a double for Tai Lung.
Tai Lung has been pretty impressive. Like ever since this kid came into the scene, he looked amazing. He's very active as a player. He's involved in, what, 18 out of 29 kills. The game has been chaotic, so maybe the numbers don't tell the whole story, but he's exactly where he needs to be. He's playing super active every single time I watch him play. He's like always in every single fight. The mistake that Tidehunter just did, he fixed it there with this rock throw, relatively easy. And now going for Shiva's Guard, Aghanim Scepter done, as we said. That is going to be the break mechanic. Very good against pretty much everything. Even if you like break Withering Mist, it's still pretty good. Like some of the region, you're going to be breaking Brewmaster's innate ability. A lot of good things to break. Like, it's not like anything is super crazy, but if they can pull off the combo, maybe with the silence and the break, if Abaddon doesn't have Manta style, ulti's not gonna proc.
And then you will ask to borrow some time, and they say they're all out. And you just end up dead. 5-man smoke from Aurora. Maybe looking to get Whisper again. They'll know there's no Ravage this time if they see him. It's going to be still a tanky hero to try and kill, but they have the Hex. They'll go to the Primal Split. Oops, Cyclone on the onslaughting Primal. There's the finger to get the kill to Whisper. That's a good start. V2 moving forward, Nullifier thrown out. Dreamco's getting used, but they've got the kill on a Makoto with the bashes coming in. They had the control. They'll take this kill. Cyclone onto the Primal Beast. They'll get the kill on the Theo Accord. That's going to be tuned out of the side of Heroic, throwing that rock. But now the egg attempt. Can they get this to pop? One more shot. Oh, does not get off. Yuma ends up getting the kill on a Kaori. They've got Tylong low. BKB was used by the Nullifier and the Earth Spike. Down he goes. A good amount of gold for V2 here, who's hidden away now at this Ursa, who's got no mana left. But he does have an Aegis to work with. Borrowed time gets popped, but he needs a little bit more health. Earth Spike thrown out, trying to get the Aegis away from this Ursa. Finally finds that. The old core in some trouble. The right clicks are in, but the disruption is going to be onto the Abaddon. And now Yuma's going to go in, trying to get the kill here on Amira. He'll find the Abyssal Blade. Down he goes. Theo Core is going to die again. WS looking over at KJ as well as Yuma, but running away with his gem and trying to get out. But the bash is there from Yuma. The jump forward and a kill onto the Brewmaster as Yuma stays beyond godlike. 16-1-7. This bear, he's feeling it just right.
And again, this is the fight without Tidehunter, basically fighting 4v5, 5v5 if you include Teolikor coming back into the fight with the buyback, but this Ursa just goes crazy. Maybe it would be better if they just killed him and tried to instantly back off, or if they left him with no mana, but the thing is, he does have good amount of mana regen coming out from that Battle Fury, and this hero doesn't really utilize that much mana. His ulti doesn't cost mana. All he needs is the click overpower for 60, and then he's going to be able to kill a hero, maybe even 2 heroes with it. He just purchased Swift Blink right here because he's so farmed, he's holding onto the Aegis, and he was thinking, well, I don't need my MKB yet because I'm going to be running out of slots anyway.
Right.
And these are 2 fights that Heroic did manage to win without Whisper, without Ravage being used. So for the next one, let's see if he makes the mistake for the 3rd time, but probably not. It is Whisper. Whisper has looked pretty stable overall, so I say 2 uncharacteristic mistakes for him. Still winning a team fight, maybe even forcing them to take the fight where he dragged them into, so we could give credit. Gotta stay positive, Benjamin. Or should I say bot B?
Bot B's always positive. That's how I was programmed to be. See this long replay. By the way, they also got a kill on a KJ. And V2's starting to hurt.
Yeah, especially with the Nullifier. He did disassemble his Radiance, picked up a Nullifier, which is going to be great at shutting down Skywrath Mage. He's the one who has been a bit annoying with this Glimmer Cape. And this is also something that Ursa doesn't like to play into, getting dispelled, removing his overpower, so you're not dealing as much damage, and then also getting a Butterfly.
Looking over at Abaddon, by the way, he's starting to collect his neutral items. 2 out of 10.
Almost there.
Will he get the bot A?
Playing for 35 minutes. Without the neutral item.
Yuma, of course, gets the Rattle Cage, by the way. That's going to be really good.
Not just Rattle Cage, he also gets a Vampiric one.
Oh my
so
God.
bonus Night Vision, what he needs to get the jump, and extra lifesteal, 16%.
That's probably one of the best he could have got. Now he's got that MKB.
I'm not sure if I agree with this Butterfly. I'll hold on to that thought.
Earth Spike onto 2. Immediately the Supernova, the Ravage is thrown out. The Mystic Flare is going to be onto a Primal Splitting Brewmaster. Abaddon's in pretty far. The Rock gets thrown on him. They'll go to the Refresher. They'll throw the Ravage out again, and that's going to land on a Kaori. You already used the Supernova. The Pulverize is out. They've got the Silence, but now the Borrow Time is going to be popped out. They found themselves. You're so alone. Yuma's dead for 100. Oh, he gives up so much gold. Dealacor is gone. Now they'll go after Whisper. Aurora have found their target. They found the bear. They all thought it was going to go so well. They had it split up. The double Ravage is not enough, and it's going to be 4 heroes dead on Heroic.
Even with double Ravage, they still lose that fight. Aeon Disc on Kaori, they were unable to pump out the damage. Also, a little bit of anti-combo, Skywrath Mage. This is level 3 ulti we're talking about. That's 1600 damage that was spread across all the Brawlings, which didn't really do much. And then the rest of the team ready to come in and clean up. Brewmaster's doing a hell of a lot of the work. He's the one controlling Ursa. He's the one splitting the fight and making sure that they can get the kill afterwards. And they do have the control.
This fight gets split into 2 separate parts. Yuma held away from the rest of his team. They have the Hex, and then he gets cycloned by WS, who's fighting 2 fights at this moment. Cycloning the Ursa, also being in the face of the other side of this fight. Whisper then backs away to focus his attention on a V-Tune, who gets that opportunity with the borrowed time, right? So now their attention is there, but it leaves Yuma alone, and he's vulnerable. Without an Aegis, he ends up dying, and now it's just a, hey, can we even get out of this one?
That was good control. It was first Cyclone from Brewmaster split, and then Kaori used Dual Scepter of his own, pretty much controlling Ursa for the whole duration of the fight. Yuma couldn't believe what happened. Like the rest of the team, not ready to back him up. The fight was completely split on 2 different sides. Aeon Disc now in Lion, which means that no matter what, he is going to be able to get his spells off.
That was...
Oh, wow, look at this. From 78% to 37% for Heroic.
That was Yuma's first death since 10 minutes. So it spent a lot of time just not dying. So that camera visual is him remembering that he is not immortal no matter what. Whisper again out in front, but blinks back and does get that primal split to get pop-up. Mira's here to follow it up. He goes into the Hex. They use the Dream Coil.
Refresher
a lot
on
getting used.
Refresher on Primal. Let's see what he can do with it.
Ancient Seal, Aeon Disc getting the save deal of core. He'll end up dead, and now popping the borrowed time. V2 now away with some shots. However, doesn't get hit, so the borrowed time really doesn't give him much back. Both teams lose supports. They'll cyclone up the Ursa. Yuma trying to find a target to get his paws onto, but where can he go? Yuma jumps in, finally goes after Kaori, who's also got himself an Aeon Disc. The right clicks through. They've got themselves the Hex coming out from Whisper. They'll get the kill to Kaori. That's going to be 2 heroes down on the side of Aurora. WS used that primal split to start the fight, so he's back to form. He's broken, and Whisper in his face uses that Ravage and gets the control with the bash coming out from Yuma. They'll take out WS, so immediately a good fight in response from Heroic. They saw those percentages come out from DOTA Plus, and they said,
like, yeah, we disagree.
We took that personally.
A much better fight coming out from Heroic. They are the ones getting the first initial jump, which makes it much easier. They're fighting as a unit. They're fighting around Ursa. Tai Long, he's the one controlling the fight. He's the one jumping in. And this is pre-level 25 on Primal Beast. This is one of the best. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I really love to play this hero, but one of the more impactful item plus level 25 combos you can have in-game is Pulverized Duration and having Refresher at the same time.
By the way, Abaddon did in fact get Rattle Cage. So it's that upgraded Rattle Cage, a quickened one with extra movement speed, mana, and evasion. But there is that MKB on Yuma anyway.
Yeah, that's why I thought I started to talk about Butterfly, the disassemble that he did with Radiance. He was like, what am I going to do? But Ursa would naturally build into MKB this game no matter what, even if it wouldn't be that good of a carry-to-carry matchup. You're playing against Phoenix, the mischance, you're playing against Brewmaster. He can be very annoying with his evasion. So maybe this could have been something different. I'm thinking more of a Bloodthorn. The Bloodthorn gives you also a bit more control against Ursa, synergizes well with your Mantis style, and it's the burst damage that you do need. But we'll see if this Butterfly is going to pay out. By pay out, I mean pay off. And he also hit level 25, Curse of Awareness, attack speed bonus. A lot of 25s in this game already.
They are looking to go through bottom. Another Aegis for Yuma. A lot of time left with that. He's also got the Refresher Shard. Whisper. His Refresher is available to him. Ravaging 15 naturally, though. They've got the banner in the back. That's going to keep these catapults alive, doing some damage. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 range creeps. Can they kill this banner? While they start to shift over towards mid and split push a little bit. Trying to put some pressure on multiple lanes and make life difficult for Aurora to have to pick and choose where they're able to go in. Makoto willing with this Lincolns to jump forward and try and get some damage onto the banner that continues to stand tall and let these catapults continue to hit away at this tower. They'll slow it up with the Spire Spirit so they can save some damage. Yule's used, Makoto here, Tai Long in, trying to get the stun. They've got the control. Makoto's able to jaunt down. They go to the Ravage, and now they find themselves. WS who's not able to get the primal split off. No buyback. Supernova. This one's finally going to go off. They get the stun onto Yuma, but they just don't have the follow-up. Without this
Banner on one
Brewmaster, it's
hit.
a big problem. Her spike lands on a Yuma. The tier 3 low on health, but not taken just yet. 70 seconds without this Brewmaster, who does not have that buyback. They finally pierce the high ground.
That's a long time without a Brewmaster.
Yeah.
They need the split. They need potentially even the second split, but right now, they don't know if he has buyback or not. He's relatively close to it. It's hard to tell from Heroic's point of view whether he does have it or not. Dakota trying to buy as much time as possible.
Jump in Whisper Hex, Aeon Disc, that's going to be popped and used. Thinking about the onslaught, that's stopped by Mira using his own Hex to keep him in place. 2 sets of racks, all at the cost of this Brewmaster's life. Unable to stay alive and get that split off.
Dire's courier has been
Does this end up even turning into Mega Creeps? They've got the glyph, 20 seconds without the brew.
under attack.
He's also got Refresher. This turns into not just, you know, no Primal Split, but no 2 Primal Splits potentially. And losing so much at the cost of 1 hero. Shows just how much he does for this team. As Yuma going for another Torm. This time 455 each. That's a lot of gold.
Aurora, they still have a chance. They need to get the split off. They need to be the one. And he's also at, I'm gonna say close to 25. Not sure if he's gonna be able to get it before the next fight. Hand of Midas unfortunately doesn't give XP anymore.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Lotus being built for Sky. He's got 3,200 on him. Yeah, Brew would love to get to that level 25. He's also trying to get an Aeon Disc to survive moments like that where he ends up
Yeah, I think it's time to
dying.
potentially sell that Midas, get Aeon Disc, make sure that you have it for the next fight. Because the next fight's coming up. You need to send out the courier, probably to enemy side shop. Or if he has enough money for buyback, he needs another 250 gold, so doesn't have it yet.
30 seconds left on this Aegis. Not looking like it's the Aegis that finishes the game just yet. But it definitely has given them quite a substantial lead. Makoto closing in on his own level 25, but like you said, it's going to be some time until WS gets that level 25. Primal's got that extra plus 67 pulverized duration.
Yep, 6-7.
Have we figured out what the meme means yet? Am I too old? Her spike comes in. That lands on a 2, but the Ravage flies forward. The BKB's gonna be popped by Tylon, going after Makoto with a Mystic Flare. The silence with that Ancient Seal.
Double
Core,
onto
he ends
Puck.
up dying, and now V2 trying to go forward, and they've got the Nullifire. It's gonna be on Yuma, who pops the BKB. They use that Primal Split already. They're gonna refresh on Whisper. He's gonna try and jump in. The blink forward, the Hex comes out from Mira. Now the turnaround. They've got the Yules coming out from Kaori, but can they get the control onto him? Or Spike once again, flying forward. He's lacking the mana. He's lacking the ability to just get this Ravage off in the moment. He does have just enough to continue on as KJ's off to the side, waiting for his moment to jump in as well. He's got that Blink Dagger ready to go with that Aghanim Scepter.
Oh man, Tylon, really respect the play that he did. He did go with the Onslaught and then refresh just to get another stun onto Puck, making sure that Puck needs to be out of the fight. Forces a buyback come out from him. Heroic, they will reset their BKBs, potentially reset their refreshers as well. Roshan could respawn in less than 2 minutes if it's a fast spawn.
We're at a point in the game where Heroic will just continue to farm up all of the map and make life so difficult for Aurora, who are now dealing without the buyback of this Puck. He didn't really get anything in return except for a kill on a Skywrath main, which is not exactly the most value on it. Boots travel 2 for Urza, Boots 1 for the Primal, and a Meteor Hammer Is that what I saw? That was what I saw for Skywrath Mage.
Interesting choice. 47 minutes into the game. It's like, what do I do with this
Kaya?
Gotta upgrade it. I don't have enough slots. He does have 2 greater healing lotuses. I think that is his strongest item in the inventory right now.
Nagging himself.
All right, we can add this build as well. I did mention the one from Underlord with Tranquil Boots, drums, and pipe. To guess the Hero Edition, I think we could try to do the same for Skywrath Mage, because I don't think many people would be able to guess this item build.
It does scream support. So you are cutting a lot of heroes out, but we can post it. We'll post it to Reddit or something. Hex on a boost travel 2 or Spike at the longest distance. Lotus Orb was on Whisper. He's looking for the jump in. He does have Ravage available. WS needs to be careful. Still doesn't have that Aeon disc, so he doesn't have a way to make sure that he gets that primal split off. That is the real question here, on if his primal split's going to be enough value, if Makoto can survive in these fights. He's got this Parasma, he's got this bot A, and he's trying to just survive and do as much damage as he can, but he hasn't been able to make it more than 5 seconds in the fights with the Jump, Pulverize, Ancient Seal combo on him. Even with that Linkens. Jump forward, Waning Rift, Dreamcore is going to be used. They're already TPing over to the outpost. Supernova used early. Abyssal Blade, they're right-clicking the egg, and they get that kill. They go to the Pulverize. It's going to be through. Out onto this Abaddon.
Forever. This Pulverize.
It's so long. That 6-7 extra is so much for him. The buyback to Supernova once again. They're trying to get the kill to V2. The Sunray, but V2's dead for 100 seconds, and they kill the egg again! It's breakfast for everybody here for Heroic. There's omelets all over the ground. The Abyssal Blade, the kill on a WS, that's 3 heroes dead. Technically 4 with the double on the Kaori.
Now you're fish.
Primal Beast is one of the best heroes for the late game. Like, what he does has pretty much unlimited amount of damage, unlimited amount of control, and they could potentially just go back. Might need to sacrifice Whisper. Rest of the team focusing on the towers.
Do they even need to sacrifice Whisper? He's given the Lotus again and again. BKB gets popped, Dream Coil onto 3, but where's the damage to follow it up? You've got the control, but you need so much more. Primal Split gets used. Yuma starting to rip through these pandas, and now the Earth Spike lands on both those heroes as well, but where is the damage? V-Tune's still up out of the high ground, while the rest of the team is up over towards Heroic. Mira is going to stand still trying to drain out some of this mana, but he'll end up dead buyback immediately. They're going to try and get themselves Mega Creeps. Heroic. Meteor Hammer slams down from the sky. 3-man Earth Spike. But again, can they find anything to follow it up? The disruption save is there. Yuma is going to try and go after this V-Tune Abaddon. Mira dead for the 2nd time. Theo accords the next target. Mystic Flare is down. WS in the face of these heroic heroes, and they'll end up dead to Tai Long.
No borrowed time.
Against the world. No borrowed time, and they've run out of it anyway. Heroic will take game number 1 as they will defeat Aurora 46-27, 51 minutes in.
Yeah, this game was pretty much Tai Long and Yuma show. They gave him way too good of a start on this Ursa, who killed every single...
Or will we go to a game number 3? We're finding out with Beak Up on the cost.
Thank you very much. Can Pudge rot away the chances here for Aurora, or is it going to be Aurora finally bringing this one to 3 games? Heroic have looked good so far in this game number 1 and in this series, but now you've got this Shadow Fiend to worry about, Lacoste, and I do feel as though maybe this Sniper might have an opportunity to pop off in lane as well.
Yeah, you have 2 massive turrets, Shadow Fiend plus Sniper. You have pretty good front line with Primal Beast. Decent amount of control as well, coming out from Shaman and Primal. So if, in theory, it looks like a good draft on side of Heroic, this is a very difficult draft to execute. This is like hit or miss type of a draft. There's nothing stable about this draft. I want to see how Pudge and Jakiro are going to be doing in the lanes. If you land a hook, you can actually destroy the lane, considering that it is a lane where they have no stuns. There's literally nothing that can protect the Shadow Fiend. Maybe Mira can start in the bottom lane, try to make something happen. Right now, they are smoked. It's a bit of a later smoke. And Kaori did pick that one up. This is the interaction that I didn't see, and I have 1,500 games on Pudge, just in Dota 2. So he hooked, and the other guy picked up the bounty, but it's still like he picked it mid-hook, which means that Pudge also got his mana back.
Okay. So free nothing, but that is a-okay. They've brought the Tree Protector up into the top lane. Obviously, those trees have been cut away, and so have the trees in the bottom lane a little bit here by VTune, who's got his own Quelling Blade. Looking at Tai Long, already taking a decent hit into his HP as he's sitting here against the sniper, maybe trying to output some of his own damage here with these right clicks. Pushing Makoto all the way back and then trying to open up the lane for himself. Getting a couple denies out of it, as this is going to be a back and forth lane with these levels, and we'll see who makes the rotation in terms of supports as well to maybe help out, especially when we hit that 6-minute mark.
Makoto's playing with the ghillie suit, which means longer duration shrapnel. And Tai Long. Panel talked about Caustic Bat. Maybe he wants to be pushing out the waves with the Nether Toxin, but instead he's trying to battle it out. He's trying to deal damage with Poison Attack. Does have Fairy Fire, and seems like he's going to be skipping the bottle in that mid lane.
Shackles from Mira for a second, but nothing really doing all overall in that lane as he just uses the chicken fingers to hex him up for a second. Tough to play against KJ, but when you've got the trees taken out of the formula, things get a little bit tough for Tree Protector overall. It's one of those ways to try and win the lane up against this Tree Protector overall. Kaori on this Phoenix, which I like his set. He's an owl on this Phoenix. You know, I was over in the green room and they said, you sound like an owl.
Who? Good one, Benjamin. Back to the game. Teolicor, once they hit level 2, I think there's a lot of kill threat coming out from Whisper and Teolicor in this bottom lane. There's going to be a good amount of harassment. Kaori, he's also level 2. There's the hook.
Hits. Icarus dive away, even using the Fairy Fire, but the Blood Grenade thrown on top of him. He's ticking low. The Tango is going to keep him alive, and he'll salve up afterwards. So close with the combo, close with the hook, but the Icarus dive away, ending up saving him. Might not be so fortunate the next time around, especially when these levels get a little bit higher for both of them. We're hitting that 3-minute Lotus timing, and KJ's got trees over here, so he's able to hit onto Mira, who will shackle, but they've brought over Theolicor. Try and get first blood, and who will get it? It will, in fact, be Yuma, who gets that first blood, gets that extra bit of gold, and they get the Lotus.
This should be a pretty easy lane for Yuma. Unless he makes some kind of a massive mistake, I think Tree Protection can still bail him out of the trouble with Leech Seed, with the Living Armor. So he's going to be okay, and I see that Living Armor has been used onto the mid lane on Tai Long, who's playing very aggressive. 2 points in Poison Attack. Extra bit of regen, considering that he doesn't have bottles. He is going for Bracer. Might need to bring extra set of tangos or a healing salve to continue this pressure in the mid lane.
Kodo struggling to kind of find some footing and safety in this lane. He's CSing well enough, though, as he should, but you need to be careful, especially if the Living Armor is going to allow this Viper to just dive him down. The Tree Protector was trying to maybe get some more here in this lane, considering the fact that now they've got the trees back. But KJ, he was the starting point for getting that kill in the first blood over by the Lotus pool, and might be able to do it again. Bottom lane was going well for the Pudge at the moment. Not pushed up, so we won't see Theolicor go through the Twin Gate again just yet. But early on, willing to go through that gate and make those plays. Certainly beneficial for Heroic in that sense.
They want to hook Shadowfin in this bottom lane. Get close to, get on top of him. Pudge for now, saving a point. Thinking whether he needs a point in Meat Shield, whether he wants to go for Rot.
Just standing tall with Shackles, but he's got the Swarm on himself. Yuma gets the trade while WS gets a kill on a KJ. They do end up getting the kill into the Tree Protector. Finally get themselves on the board for the side of Aurora. As Makoto ticking low and dead to Tai Long, who gets the solo kill. So that's without the Triumph Protector being alive and that living armor not there initially. But now he gets the kill, he salves up, he's got living armor, and he's going to be back pretty healthy in this mid lane, and things only getting even more tough for Makoto if that's going to be the case, and Thailand going to continue to play this way.
Yeah, I want to see someone rotate potentially to mid lane, because if he uses Viper Strike, the Holy Core, Mira is here.
Shackles.
Gonna get a hook.
And
Yes,
the
he
hook
can,
for a
and
save
Kaori
and
dies.
the kill. Gets this kill, the right clicks in, Kaori takes out the Core in death, but that's a trade maybe they weren't expecting to make.
And the reason why I wanted to see maybe someone rotate to the mid lane is Sniper. He doesn't have a TP. If you get in range to use Viper Strike on him, he's straight up dead. Throw in a Blood Grenade from the support, and Jakiros is going to make that move.
It's just an illusion rune, but Yuma's even here
Yuma's
mid.
here. All right, but boys, I said I wanted to see a rotation, not a
Viper
not a full team.
under the tower in some trouble. KJ, he ends up dead first, and now the Viper Strike thrown out onto the Primal Beast. The Icarus dive across three of these heroes, and Tylong's going to get up onto the high ground. Kaori, if Yuma maybe can get another shot in, he'll get the kill there. Now they'll even look over at the rest of these heroes, but
Yuma's level
Tylong
6.
dies to Makoto. Yuma, with Makoto in trouble, not level 6 just yet, finds the sniper and might even look for more. Mira under the tower, it makes it a little bit more difficult. V-Tune also dead, so on a Whisper while this is all going on.
Yeah, this is before he's even level 6. Like, the read from Yuma to come to the mid lane, pushing out the top lane, and then also this observer that KJ placed earlier is showing the TP rotations, if they're going to be making them to the mid lane, and it also allows them to potentially go in and steal the enemy XP rune. And Yuma, like in the first game, is going to do the same thing, or at least try to do so. Last time he got a double kill.
Swarm on both. Yuma's in trouble. He is level 6, but it looks like he'll just get run down. This time it's the opposite of what happened. It's Yuma giving away 2. Now the Viper Strike. This might work wonders for Tylong if he can get the kill, but he won't chase further to try and get the Primal.
No mana on Weaver, unfortunately. He didn't have Magic Stick. That's an item that you definitely want to have, and we're gonna see the replay of Whisper with Phase Boost just running him down, Meat Shield on, Rot with Rotten Core. It gives you insane amount of damage, and nobody could help him there. No real stuns. It needs to be either Primal Beast, it needs to be Shadow Shaman, and they've been busy in the top lane.
And that was a sick move to get in front of V-Tune and stop him from being able to retreat.
They're not done. Yuma and Whisper, they're chasing him down. V-Tuna.
Immediate TPs. Hex, Shackle, and now some trouble for Pudge. Whisper's dead. Getting baited by his carry to go in on this.
I've seen too many of these videos on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok.
Facebook?
Yeah, when Shadow Shaman uses shackles, then Shadowfin comes from behind. You know what I'm talking about? No, and then they just leave. I have to show you.
I've never seen this.
You'll laugh. People know.
People know. Who are these people?
These are the meme people.
Oh. Yeah, you were probably in the meme community on MySpace as well, naming some of these platforms.
I was.
Videos on. You'd be in my top 8. That's for sure. Even game up to this point. Yuma, 4,000 net worth, and still kind of matching, not 1 for 1, but that last game on that Ursa, granted, didn't have the same outcome at that 7-minute mark, but that was where he was given a lot of that gold.
Yeah.
He's still having a very good start to this game.
He is. I'm just a little surprised that he doesn't have a magic wand. This is the item that gives you great stats. It gives you extra HP. He could have probably gotten a kill on Mira in the mid lane. He would have enough mana. And then near the fight, near the XP Shrine, would have enough mana with a couple of stick charges to get the time lapse, get another spell or so.
Dust, pulverized, top. Yuma is in some trouble, but he does have time lapse this time around, so he's a-okay if it's just the one of the Primal Beast. Things got real quiet after trying to take that shrine, and then the fight over mid. Everybody's backed up into their respective jungles, continuing to try and farm. Level 6 for Mira. Has access to those Serpent Wards that maybe they want to pressure with. Amplified damage, KJ. We'll just swipe it up. Potentially looking to bait somebody in to try and go for that. But SF is keeping up. And they're going to try and go top. Yuma won't have time-lapse this time around, but is able to Shikuchi before Mira is able to get any control out with that Hex Shackle combo with the Primal Beast. Hook thrown at the Catapult. Just to get some easy golds, not really at the way of Vitun. They'll still sit here top, but they've got the help from KJ as Treant Protector ready to protect and do what he can. Field Court getting Sun Raid, hit with those Fire Spirits, and Makoto looking for an Assassinate, even committing the Supernova. So all that to get the kill on the Field Court, and that will explode. One of the few so far in this series that is able to go off.
This time around, it is going to be easier compared to the previous game. The only one who kind of wants to attack the egg is going to be Weaver, but everybody else, they're not going to be doing it. I was wondering what kind of auras they're going to be getting on Heroic, because both of the auras are going to be very valuable, both Crimson and Pipe. I see that Tai Long wants to pick up Crimson. I also want to see potentially Pudge picking up the Pipe. Not straight away. I think it's okay to get it slightly after, where you get your Aghanim Scepter, maybe even a Blink Dagger, and then go for a Pipe, but we'll have to see. WS, he's the one actually going for Pipe on the Primal Beast off lane, which is a rare sight.
Smoke broken over mid. No hook to hit. And still holding onto it, trying to get that Aghanim Scepter. Yuma's coming around with the Shikuchi. Maybe has an opportunity to get a kill here. Mira is actually the one stacking, and there will be a pause from Heroic. All while Mira might be in some trouble. He does have Hex, he does have Shackles, and Dust if they want to try and turn this onto Yuma. Primal's a little bit far away, and so is the Sniper, but if it can buy them enough time to TP in, maybe. But there's a lot of heroes here for Heroic.
Primal Beast is very low HP, so he's not going to be joining. But to go back to my point about Primal Beast Pipe, this is not something we're seeing, because mostly he's played from the safe lane, from the mid lane. Some teams played from the off lane as well. Most of the time you want to get Blink and BKB, but there are multiple BKB piercing tools, Viper Strike, Pudge, Overgrowth.
Still sticking on to Mira for a second. Whisper
looking for an angle.
Not throwing a hook, not finding anybody again. So these heroes move over. They'll steal these stacks. More gold here for Whisper to get closer to that Aghanim Scepter. Tong has been left over in the mid lane to continue to farm. Overall, nobody really playing too aggressive for the last 5 minutes or so. It kind of all got shut down after that shrine play.
Aurora managed to stabilize. It was 2k gold lead for Heroic. They started off strong, and then that shrine fight got them back into the game. Shadowfin's also recovering nicely, not dying. They try to put a lot of pressure onto Vitun. That second gank that was coming through the Twin Gate from Yuma was not successful. He was the one who also got a kill on Pudge. But they did manage to stabilize. Their high ground defense is also super strong. You have Primal Beast, you have Sniper, one of the best, if not the best hero in the game to defend the high ground with. And also in terms of tower damage, Heroic, they don't have that much. Unless maybe Viper gets a shard.
There's the jump with the blink, pulverize, and now the trample on Athelicore. They've got the Hex, they'll get the kill, they'll take out the Jakiro. Even here at 9, stressful moments, and Whisper, he's 1,000 gold now away from this Aghanim Scepter. They'll drop down the Serpent Wards, trying to get a tower. Gotta be careful of the blink as well as the pulverize. WS is waiting for his moment. KJ comes in, Overgrowth used, outlands on it too, but where's the follow-up damage to come from? Mira shackling and right-clicks from Tai Long onto this Shadow Shaman. They'll get the kill there, but Vitun looking for the Requiem. That lands onto the Weaver, and Yuma's just blown up. In too far.
Nice.
Not getting the vision on the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, their catch is really not that great. Sure, Weaver can try to go in, but it's not a control that you need. Viper was also looking for potential angle to be able to get the Viper Strike, but the cast range isn't really the greatest. It's only 700 at level 1. And then Vitun finds the right opportunity. Hides behind those trees. That's why Whisper is going for a Blink Dagger after he finishes off his Aghanim Scepter. He needs to be able to start a fight.
Whisper, let's travel TP over for Taiwan. They throw down the Macro Pyre, they go to the Supernova, they hit the look at Makoto.
I don't think it was meant for him.
I highly doubt it. That right click doesn't kill Whisper. The onslaught's short, they don't get that kill. Mira's dead too. Supernova goes off, but they both die before that Supernova could pop and they could go turn around on a heroic.
100
they look
move
over
speed.
at WS. He's getting run down. Sunray onto the Oa Core. They'll get the kill there. They'll end up making the trade, but Taiwan getting himself a couple of kills. 3 heroes down on the side of Aurora. That is not what they were looking for when they immediately went to those TPs to try and kill Whisper.
I think he was trying to go for Kaori. They have no vision whatsoever, and I don't think that he saw Sniper there. Doesn't matter. Let's pretend that he did.
All on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that one again because this is also, like, Pudge, he's extremely farmed. He is having almost 7,000 net worth, 15 minutes in. Aghanim Scepter completed.
Take a look at this replay. We'll see. Sniper's probably like, I've got great positioning right now. And then gets hooked. He starts backing away, and yeah.
And it looked like it was meant for Phoenix. And then WS, like, one bad thing about the Primal Beast in a lot of these matchups that are going to be slowing him down is Self-Dispel on Uproar has been moved from level 15 to level 20 talent. That's a lot of experience. That's like 10 minutes, maybe even 15 minutes, depending whether you're winning or not.
That is a long time to have to wait for that now. He's trying to go into the pipe after picking up this blink. As the game kind of evens out. And Pudge now has this Aghanim Scepter. Blink BKB is the list of items that he wants to pick up. Desolator soon for the Weaver. Yuma's game's slowing down a little bit. He's kind of close to a couple other heroes, but he was top of the net worth by a significant margin at the 7-minute mark. Since then, at 9 minutes or so, and this has been Shadow Fiend continuing to farm really well, and this is why things have been a little bit of a struggle for Yuma. He gets caught by this Blink Pulverize and the damage that Aurora have, and now he has to sit down and think about it for the next 30 seconds.
Radiant's top tower is under
Feels like he needs a hero behind him. Whether it's an Ice Path, maybe Overgrowth, something that can potentially save him. Because right now he feels very squishy. Even with level 10 talent, 7 extra strength, he just straight up dies. He's going also for the Deso build. This type of a build requires you to be, I would say, more active. You want to be killing the heroes, and it's also not so much farm that you're getting, because if you get Maelstrom, your farm increases by a lot more, because with the Deso, you need to have Shard on top of that to be able to Shikuchi through the creep wave, which also puts you in a position where you can get jumped, where people can actually predict where you're going, compared to Maelstrom / Mjolnirbeard, where you're keeping the distance and using Shikuchi to run away instead of going into the creep wave.
We'll get this Desolator, and we'll see how long it takes for him to finally finish this item, but you see a Shadow Fiend that has now surpassed the 10,000 net worth marker, and that is just such good farm coming in for Vtune, who completely opposite of the last game, where it was a bit of a struggle for him on the Abaddon throughout all portions of the game, but at this moment, the life is good for him.
They do see him, but still no moves coming out, and like even this Observer Ward that was placed by King Jungles, where Mira is standing right now, it's in the range of a sentry, but it's so far to the south that you can't even see it.
Really interesting spot there. Gets you so much information, too. 66% on the win probability. Now 65. Some last hit somewhere made a difference. Be a Lotus for Mira, who's looking into the Blink Dagger. Speaking of Blinks, Pudge got his. Pretty quick from Axe to Blink.
Yes, he did farm some of the stacks in the meantime, and also survived that fight.
Whoa, going for Rosh. Deso is flying out for the Weaver. That'll help. And they'll go back into the pit, but Fire Spirits fly in. They see that this Rosh is kind of low. There are 5 heroes here, but they might need to make a move. They've got the pipe, they'll have the blink, they'll try to have a pulverize, they'll go after KJ, and the damage coming in with the assassinate. Now, KJ, he is low, but they hit the hook, they go to the dismember, they find themselves the Phoenix, they get the Kona Kaori. they'll still continue on to Rosh. Shrapnel's down. KG's in trouble, but he'll go to the overgrowth before he dies. That locks up Mira as well as this Shadow Fiend. Hook's going to be a miss on this one. They get the kill on Mira. That's going to be 2 dead, and an Aegis picked up for Yuma. They can also farm these Serpent Lords, and Heroic, they take a very risky play to go for Rosh, but it does pay off in the end.
Their team fight's also strong with the auras, overgrowth barely hitting 2 of them on the edge. Ooh, Whisper slide off the mark with that hook, but
he's
still gonna be able to eat him. Yeah.
And he'll have the Dismember, he'll have the rest of his team, and WS will pulverize, but he's still dead.
And this is right near another objective. So Roshan into Tormentor, they do have the damage. With this Deso, they do have a little bit of survivability as well. The Olicorp doesn't even need to care, and he's gonna get it, which does unlock Liquid Fire and Liquid Frost at the same time.
Allows you to use one then the other, not one or the other. Basically, it's a brain surgery that allows the 2 heads to think separately instead of as one. Worth it for 1,400 gold, if you ask me.
It's a shard that you don't want to buy, but it's a really valuable shard in terms of the damage output.
Yeah, I just feel like it really adds quite a bit for this Jakiro, who's going into the Yules, has the Solar Crest. A lot of farm on the Jakiro for right now. Using Tumblr's Toy, a little bit of movement, and we'll see what he wants after this Yules. But after that last game is the Skywrath Mage. Duocore having a lot of impact on that hero and is still continuing to have a lot of impact here. Evolved to the 10 of...
They finally found that Observer Ward. Let's see if Mikoto is going to be greedy. Has Hurricane Pike ready, but Budge is coming. Smoked with the Blink Dagger.
Ooh, gets the Hurricane Pike off, but Theocore is ready. Ice Path cuts him off. Nowhere for him to really go, and eventually it's the Rot and the Hook that gets the kill.
Immediately to the top lane. I respect this move. Tai Long, he's very tanky.
Viper Strike was thrown over on a WS, but he's able to blink away.
Thanks to that pipe.
Kaori, ooh, the Icarus dive. Just to avoid the hook. Pipe working wonders for him. Able to blink out, make sure he doesn't end up dead there, because he was in a very bad position with the rest of Heroic coming over. Whole time, though, V-Tune continuing to farm, and now they're going to smoke. They'll have an Invis rune to pick up. It's going to be Mira, Kaori, and WS, while the rest of the team is either dead or farming. Can they find anybody blink, pulverize with control? Extra help from Mira and Kaori with the Sunray.
Ooh, that courier flying to him while they're smoked. Not sure if anybody noticed.
Whisper is farming so well with this Pudge. Very impressive what he's got so far.
They don't have...
Keeping up with SF.
Ooh, Mira, he's dying, but he's going to heal himself up. This is basically a solo kill. Rest of the team, they were not ready to back him up. They thought most of them were behind him, but Heroic, they were just farming on a different side of the map. Once you get a BKB on Pudge, the only thing that can stop you from getting the Blink BKB bite off is going to be Primal Beast. Maybe Supernova if it's precast, but other than that, you're going to be okay.
I was about to say, he's holding a lot of gold. He might have thought about going for something else, but buys out the BKB in full. Also working with the Treant Shard. So, you know, they have the Eyes in the Forest. That's going to give them some extra information. And the 4 that I see so far are in pretty good spots. That'll get you some information about heroes maybe looking to farm top or farm this little part of the jungle over in the bottom area. Like, these are spots that Aurora have been found in multiple times, and having that extra information, having that extra bit of sight is going to be potentially brutal for Aurora.
It's very annoying to play against it.
30 seconds left on this Aegis. Whisper's going to be the one who pops the BKB. Pulverize is there, though. Makoto's on the low ground trying to do the damage on a Whisper. They've gone after Tai Long. He's taken a lot, and the Rock Toss comes in and hits a lot of these heroes on Heroic. They get the kill on Theocore, the ticket Tai Long, and now the side of Heroic, who wanted to start this fight and pressure the bottom tier 2, end up losing 3. This Aegis is about to expire. Weaver's already out of harm's way completely, but that goes terribly for Heroic and really well done for Aurora.
Yeah, Weaver was not in that fight. He did not want to commit. Aegis was about to expire, but a very good jump. You can see these two turrets dealing the damage from the distance, and WS being the body, soaking up all of that damage with pipe. Really like the pipe build in this one, knowing that he's playing into so many BKB piercing tools. He just wants to be as survivable as possible. And this shard, I'm really glad that people are picking it up. I think Marine started this trend from the mid lane, where he was getting Blink immediately into shard, and then most of the time getting a BKB, allowing you to have that extra bit of a lockdown, and also getting extra uproar stacks.
Looking at KJ trying to get some information. Blink Mira forward, but chicken fingers and the Hex aren't going to matter if they're right on top of you, so Yuma getting another kill. It's got only 4 charges in that Desolator. I swear he's been involved in way more than that since he's picked it up.
Well, they got a kill near the Lotus Bowl and the one just now, and that's about it. They killed Primal and they killed Shaman. He was not involved in the previous fight. I think he only used bugs and ran away.
Even Net Worth and Whisper coming down. Shadow Wave picked up for the Sniper, and there's another BKB for Heroic. Multiple BKBs available for them. Viper working on his as Crimson, Boots of Travel, and then BKB. Is there anything else you'd like for this Viper? He's got that Ags as well.
I feel like he needs another item for maneuverability in a fight. I would be okay with Pike maybe first before a BKB.
He's got some maneuvering with the Ags, with the nosedive, but it's not like having that extra
It's
layer.
a 20, yeah, it's a 20-second cooldown ability. I would just love to see another one.
Yeah.
Because if he's getting caught, like, it's very good against Primal Beast when he rushes in. If you can use the Hurricane Pike on him pre-BKB, that feels really nice to stop him. It's a way of disengaging a fight, great against like closing the gap as well. We'll see if he commits. BKB is also a good option depending how the fight's gonna start. If they're getting the hook, if Weaver's cutting into backlines, if he's gonna be able to deal damage to Sniper. But they also need to have Dusts. They need to have some kind of vision for this Sniper, for Shadow Fiend.
Definitely need to know where these heroes stand at. By the way, just got a Gunpowder Gauntlet, an upgraded one for the Weaver, so he was just given a good amount of extra damage as well with Vampiric on it.
A very good choice. And I think on Weaver, you need to go explosive with the damage. You need to have that Daedalus, and then you can start thinking about, do you need Pike of your own? Do you need maybe a little more defensive? Lincoln Sphere against Primal, against Shadow Shaman feels nice, but also Satanic, so you can stand your ground and fight against Shadow Fiend and Sniper. So a lot of these items on the line, Yuma probably thinking about all of them. It's just that right now, it feels like they need some DiMaggio.
We'll have to see if they do get it. And now BKB for SF. Makoto working on a Silver Edge.
Silver Edge is such a good item right now. Allows you to cap their move speed, break them for 5 seconds, and set their move speed to 200.
They're going to try and do this Rosh. This Rosh will roar eventually. Start to hit him for the second straight time. Do the roar.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And he'll roar as you please. Rock thrown over. They've abandoned the pit. Left Rosh to think about what's next. But it's a 5-man smoke from Aurora. And they find the angle to jump into this fight and attack Heroic while Tai Long is the only one who's in the pit. Slowly, he'll work on this, but there's the Shrapnel, the Fire Spirits flying in. Not the same as last time when Heroic had 3-4 heroes in the pit trying to get this Rosh. They're approaching this a little bit differently than the last time, learning lessons from the fight before. Not really
Nobody wants to commit.
committing, yeah, and allowing this Rosh to get low. So,
Let's see who's going to be helping who. Whether these shrapnels and fire spirits are helping Heroic to finish off Rosh. Mira in the front line.
There's the Hex Serpent Wards. Hook to get him out of those wards. And now Rosh is very low, but KJ comes over, Overgrowth on a 3. That might just cost him his life and will. There wasn't much follow-up to that either, and now they're going to walk into Rosh themselves. They'll think about the Requiem. Tai Long, he's about half health. Macropyre down out of the Rosh. Whispers inside the pit, pops the BKB, but he's pulverized, and now they've got the Supernova off to the side. They're going to try to get the Dismember the damage. Rosh is low. Who's going to get the Aegis? It's on the ground. Finally picked up by WSC. The kill on the Makoto. So they take out the Sniper. They'll have the Primal back. Tai Lung's down and gone. 3 heroes dead. Make it a 4th. The Weaver's the only one alive for Heroic, and it works out for Aurora. They stayed hesitant, but eventually when they committed, it was too much and overwhelming for Heroic.
They were not on the same page. Treant Protector, he goes in, lands a very good Overgrowth, but the rest of the team, they were not ready to back him up. And then you see Tai Lung jumping in right in front of the Shadow Fiend, who just right-clicks him down. And in all this mess that was happening, WS manages to pick up Aegis, and he uses it immediately.
Good positioning from Kaori as well with the egg in a spot where he knows he's not gonna really be bothered, but is having a lot of impact in that spot as well. For a long time, Aurora just kind of poking a little bit, throwing the rocks in, fire spirits, shrapnels, kind of allowed Heroic to do most of the work. And now they found Yuma. The shackles will last long enough. They've got the damage and the kill as VTune, top of the net worth, 4,000 net worth ahead of this Weaver, and it's showing.
They're ready to go for the high ground. They do have Serpent Wards, not enough mana at the moment, but we'll have it soon. And this gem is also allowing them to go and remove most of the vision. VTune, amplified damage, still up and running for the good 15 seconds or so.
It's jumped all the way up to a 6,000 net worth lead. The tools aren't entirely there for Heroic, Lukas. What are they missing?
They're missing the execution. I also think this Viper is not scaling anymore. I think he would need to have like 2 more items to be able to be evenly matched against the Shadowfin and Sniper. Right now, he's unable to do so. Crimson Guard, yeah, it makes you tanky, but not as tanky as you think against Sniper peeping from the distance, Shadowfin with a couple of right clicks. It is too much physical damage coming out from them. Even though his armor is pretty high, it's still not enough, especially if he gets broken by this Silver Edge.
BKB finally finished for Viper. These trees are not going to be easy to keep up. Now, like you said, they've got that gem. And now they move over to the Tormentor. This is going to be a shard for the side of Aurora. For Mira. So he'll have that shard, and then VTune close to this Daedalus. Primal finally hitting that level 20 there too, so he's got that self-dispel on Uproar cast.
Definitely needed. So many things that can be dispelled in this game. All the stuff from Viper, except for the Viper Strike. Jakiro can be annoying. Treant Protector as well.
Could kill this Courier. Oh, KJ! No!
It's a full Daedalus.
And Whisper, now he's gonna die. Oh. It looked like it was gonna be
Nice dodge
something for them, but now they're gonna try and get this Supernova. A couple shots from Dead. They finally get it before the Pulverize, but it's not worth both your lives. KJ and Yuma, they're dead. And now it's gonna be the Jakiro next. Theocor has nowhere to go. Throws a Macropyre in desperation, and it does nothing for them.
Heroic, they just crumbled. After that Roshan fight, in the near the tier 2 tower bottom, they just didn't execute properly. They gave Aurora pretty much all the tools in the game to recover. And VTune continued to farm up. That only one dead in the bottom lane where they ganked them. And that's about it. And they're ready to close it out potentially.
Top set of racks are gone. Mid having to deal with Serpent Wards. No Yuma Duma for 30. He really would like to hold out from buying back as he's close to the Daedalus. Not sure that's even going to matter at this point, as it looks like they might even try to close in on for Megas. Mira forward, all the rockets too, but KJ kind of low. Won't matter. Mira ends up dying. They'll get themselves one. They'll miss the hook. Whisper, can he find WS, who will onslaught away and get some space between him and the side of Heroic?
Let's see if they can find something. Oh, there's going to be an opportunity to maybe get something done, but seems like Aurora, they are expecting the move. They do see them, however, this observer board on the high ground.
This is a tough SF to kill. He's got that shield rune. Can they get it out of him, and can they get this kill? Makoto losing his courier, so 2 couriers have died. The hook ends up landing. Now, he'll pop the Manta. He'll turn on a Whisper. They go to the Overgrowth. The rocks are thrown
Lotus
forward.
Orb.
They've got the Pulverize to get the kill on a KJ, as they'll turn it on a Whisper, get themselves a second, make it a third with WS taking out Theo Core. And that was a jump that was made by Heroic, and they end up paying for it. And Tai Long now needs to run. Yuma's nearby, but is this really the spot you want to be in? They do some decent damage. They've got the Swarm on him, but already popping the time lapse as pipes popped. Here comes V-Tune. Tai Long with the BKB, but the right-click damage is just too much for him to handle.
He has no
the
time
Viper
lapse.
trying to get away. No time lapse. The Assassinate is there. Full team wipe on an attack from Heroic that gets countered so heavily from Aurora that they call GG, and we're going to a game 3.
Yeah, clutch Lotus Orb coming out from Kaori. I don't think Shadowfiend would die anyway, because he had Satanic there. He pops it. It's too much. This lineup from Heroic, as we said when we saw it, it is very difficult to execute.
Smooth sailing in game number 3 with Beak up on Lacoste.
Thank you very much. Coming into game number 3, Heroic against Aurora. We've got the Meepo, but it's up against the all-red draft. Very thematic and colorful draft of Aurora.
Yep, seeing red looks a very Dota type of a draft. Very simple, very strong, a lot of team fight on one side, and on the other side, Heroic cooked with the draft, and seems like nobody's hungry. Not sure if I like this draft too much. No stun type of a draft. You're relying on your position 5 clockwork to do all the work in terms of initiating a fight before maybe Meepo comes in with his... but it just needs Meepo snowballing. You have Tai Long playing Viper. It's going to be him building the aura from the mid lane, maybe an aura from the off lane from the Darkseer, seeking up 2 auras, and then playing from Meepo, controlling the Tormentor, controlling Rosh. But looking at the team fight, I don't think it gets better than this. Looking at Aurora, you have Arena Fatal Bonds against Meepo, and then you throw in Requiem, throw in Casual Beastmaster, the burst damage. Like, everything is kind of synced up for Aurora.
Yeah, it seems like it's a easy execute kind of lineup. And as we saw in the last game too with this Viper, you know, there was that point where it felt like it just kind of turned off and wasn't really a hero. I could see that kind of happening again, right? Where now they've dealt with this Viper, he doesn't really do anything. You're so reliant on just one hero as the Meepo, and I don't think it's going to be able to kind of keep up. We'll see if it can, but there will be some time before he gets those items and is really able to accomplish all that much. But Whisper here on the Darkseer. How does the Darkseer fit into the equation for Heroic?
I think they just wanted to have an offlaner that builds, like, creating illusion out of Shadowfiend is pretty damn good. This was overall first pick Shadowfiend. But other than that, I don't think he's going to be having that good of a time. Like, you can see King Jungle's already in the bottom lane. He is trying to use Boots of Speed to try to take the creep away from Mira. And Mira's going to be playing that Lion in the safe lane so that they have stun something when they try to initiate. And Kaori is going to be in the top lane with Mars. Not the traditional lane setup, not the traditional lane partner for Mars by any means.
But one that can definitely sustain, or maybe they can, like you said, later on, make the combo work. You did go level 1 into the Fatal Bonds, and that's what they used up there. Theocore is quite low. There's a full creep wave to do damage to, and that's what's going to be able to get the kill with the Fatal Bonds. So Kaori getting that first blood and getting used for good, and it unlocks that level 2 where you've got the Shadow Word, and you can just sustain the Mars in this lane. Things look like they're probably going to be difficult for Heroic in this one. to get anything offensive going on. And I think Aurora are more than fine with the way that this lane is honestly looking like it's going to shape up.
Off to a really good start. The problem is with Heroic, you don't have a playmaker. Viper, he needs some kind of a setup. It's impossible to like post 15-ish minutes for you to dictate the tempo, like how the game is played. Sure, you might be ahead. This lineup, I think, only works when you are staying far ahead from the enemy team, if you're snowballing. Other than that, you can't really start any of the fights. It's almost impossible. Like, sure, you have Clockwork. Maybe with the auras, you're going to be able to sustain yourself through the initial damage, but that's a lot of maybes.
Hex now, a couple of raises, Whisper down to about a sliver of health. These cogs bouncing Mira a little bit. They do have the Ion Shell doing some decent damage, but Whisper still needs to be careful about what he allows to land on him. And another raise comes through, and there's another V-Tomb, putting it all together and lining it up to get the kill. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they've got the Fatal Bonds on Theolacor as well as Yuma again. He needs to be careful once more.
Yeah, more things that you can connect together. Fatal Bonds, like, I don't think there's a better spell that you can use. Maybe Winter Wyvern's Curse. But Fatal Bonds onto Meepos, and you have all this AoE magic damage. You have a good amount of control. KJ is just straight up dead. It's already starting to fall apart for Heroic.
I am worried that they're going to be too far behind for Meepo to really make the ground up. And I guess the one lane that is going well is the Viper. At least he's got something going in terms of being at top of the CS. But you look at where Meepo's at as well, 11-0 at this point, and now even more Fatal Bonds. They go for WS. This time might be good enough, but the Shadow Word keeping him healthy. The Rocket Flare and anything they can get from KJ is going to be nice as they use everything at their disposal to get the kill onto WS. But it is the Battery Assault that helps them to get that lockdown with the cogs.
You got the kill on WS, but you're also leaving V-Tune completely alone in this bottom lane. Shadow Fiend, even in a game where he doesn't get to have free farm, he's still a menace. This hero farms extremely fast, especially if he's off to a good start. KJ, level 2 Clockwork. Doesn't have that much damage to work with, but is trying to be as annoying as possible.
Just in the face of Mira, all while Whisper is in the jungle trying to use these Ion Shells to get this Ancient Stacks and get some gold going. He's out there farming as quickly as he can. And it ain't quick, but it's honest work.
Yeah, it's something. Gotta make something done. Going for Helm of the Dominator, farming with those Ion Shells. It's a good amount of mana. Every single Ion Shell is 110 mana. You don't have enough mana to sustain it at these early levels, so you need to bring Clarities. Mikoto in the mid lane, they're trying to make a move, but he does have Boots of Speed. Understanding that he's playing against Viper. At this time around Tai Long, he's not playing for I want to dominate the lane. It's more about I want to be able to go into jungle and try to get some maybe stacks going, maybe steal some of the enemy stacks, maxing out that Nether Toxin.
Using the 0-3-2 build. Not really too costly when it comes to the mana, especially you're not putting out as much poison attack. Tap 2 blue, you should be good. But Spear onto Yuma, sending him back, and we'll send the Meepo packing. Not a kill or anything like that, but just stops him from really being in much trouble.
Mikoto is level 6. Aurora is ready if they want to use it. KJ might be the one getting the treatment, and there it is. God. V-Tune even made a rotation. I really like this. One of the few carriers as well that is going to be making these type of rotations from what I've seen is Yatoro. He's going to be there for a 6-minute rune, making sure that the mid laner is getting the bottle refill, or if maybe they can get something done. Because V2, he doesn't even lane against anything. Like, he's just completely free farming. He can allow himself to push the lane quickly and then go for that 6-minute rune.
Yuma getting up to that level 5. He seems a little bit more free as the lanes have broken down a little bit, but now Warlock He's just been trying to potentially stack and get what he can out of the map. And he's only level 4, but that 7-minute mark is going to come soon, and we'll see if anybody wants to make a move over for Heroic. It's worked once, it's not worked another time, but third time's a charm. Mira coming across to try and steal this from KJ. And KJ's still just level 2. But with the cogs, he should have it. Instead, leaves the shrine just to focus his attention onto Mira, who's now under the tier 2 tower and dies technically to KJ. So he can get that kill, move back, take the shrine if need be. Soon, Makoto will have that roar back up.
It's important that they're not losing stacks to Viper. Meepo could potentially come in theory, and steal the stacks, but with the state of the game right now, they can't allow themselves to go into that area and try to play aggressive. So for now, it's just going to be coming Beastmaster's way. And we've seen, like, every single time I see Beastmaster in a game, the hero does so much.
Ags is going to come quick, if given this space and time, and you can see that starting to really go that way as they've got a 2,000 net worth lead. This Meepo's far behind. It's the hero that needs to be ahead. They'll deny that Arcane Rune, thinking about going to the Roar out of the core, but he's got a way to avoid that with some disruption. Shadow Word to heal up Makoto. Kaori, we'll see if he takes a lane for a little bit, if he could get himself to that level 6. Of course, always has the option to pop 2 Black Grimoires, but might hold it. We'll see. Usually you're more inclined to hold it if you're right about to get 6 or you've got a lot of charges.
If you're level 6, you can just keep it and see how it goes from there, because I've seen Warlock players, and Kaori is a very experienced Warlock player, that they just keep it because they want to get to level 20 potentially.
Mira's in trouble. Battery assault on him. And they even drop down the wall. This Shadow Fiend's going to start to do some right-click damage. To think about the Requiem, they threw a rocket flare earlier to get some slow on him and some vision. But with the Requiem pushing these heroes back, it doesn't look as though they're able to get their hands onto the Shadow Fiend, and they'll just take the prize of this Lion. So Kaori, he does in fact just pop the Black Grimoire and immediately throws down.
That's what he does. I think he's the one who started this trend. It was one of the previous Wallachias, I believe, where...
I don't think he used one in a fight.
Yeah.
He always used it to push.
Doesn't matter. He wants to put the pressure on the map, open up the map, get some extra far for himself.
Mira again. This is a problem. Disruption. Mira kind of surrounded. V-Tune's coming over, though. They have the help from Makoto, and he's going to use that rallying roar and get that kill in a whisper. 2 and a green. That's what it costs to go and get that, as V-Tune does get the kill.
Seems like you've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering recently, huh?
We've got a nice group here that all play Magic.
How did it go?
I lost. You are playing the new Flip Coins deck I got you, and I've never seen somebody hit 15 coin flips in a row. He's like, and I hit you for 6,000? Yeah, commander damage? Okay, I lose. I get it. All right, enough.
Good game. What's also a good game is this game of Dota, and the V-Tune is popping off. He's all over the place on a mega kill streak right now. Somebody's going to need to stop this guy. He's building into 2 defensive items after Mask of Madness. He's playing against Meepo, Clockwork, so the natural item build is going to be Pike, Manta style, to make sure you have multiple ways of getting... Because the stuns they have, it's pretty much Clockwork. That's the stun. Maybe some nets from Meepo, but he should be okay with it. And we still haven't seen the most from Aurora's team fight, because this is an insane... Like, if they just click their buttons, I think they just straight up win. I don't think they have to use any other abilities other than Golem, Fatal Bonds, Arena, and Requiem. If that lands onto 2-3 of them, the fight's immediately over.
Okay. I'll be keeping my eye to make sure. But for right now, Makoto still continuing to farm these stacks. Top of the net worth, though, is the Shadow Fiend, V-Tune, who's been involved in a lot. He's moved around. He's been willing to kind of stray from the jungle and the lane to get a couple of these kills. And you can see 17 stacks already made for Aurora. A high stacking game, honestly. 17-10. And there's the defusal for the Meepo.
Dire are scanning.
Ideally, this is the big timing for Meepo when he's trying to put more pressure on the map, where you're trying to get stuff done. Ideally, you would want to have 3 Meepos.
Work on that Aghanim Scepter.
I had to double check his win rate on Meepo, and currently he is sitting at 66%, 57 games off Meepo.
Dire's middle tower
66?
Yeah. Don't try to do the math. I see you thinking it's not gonna work out. It might be fast, but it's gonna be incorrect.
The cogs were turning, but nothing's going on in there. It just didn't...
What about the monkeys?
Yeah, just hitting the tambourines. Yeah. That's all my brain is. A whole lot of nothing. Recently, I was called a parody of a human being by a friend of mine. So, you know, that goes with the whole thinking and
That's what friends
ideas
do.
thing.
The more they insult you, the more they love you. At least with the guys. It's time to make a move.
Yeah,
13 minutes in. This tier 1 tower is going to drop. Kaori with the rock ready. Let's see what the play is going to be.
Dire are scanning.
Oh, all right, guys. That is me trying to do some thinking and figuring out my life and everything, but, you know. Okay. Fine dining and breathing is all I ever know.
Back to game, even though we haven't seen much action. I feel this Beastmaster Axe is also going to mess up with the timing what Meepo wants to do. If it's going to be Aurora taking a Roshan, taking Aegis away from Meepo, this is a pretty massive deal. This is how Meepo wants to play. WS, he does have Blink Dagger ready. KJ.
Blink. God's Rebuke. The spear connects. Makoto's in the area. He'll throw that Primal Roar out, and that will be a supposed kill on a KJ. It will go the way of WS.
Don't mind if I do, WS says.
And even with these kills, still just the 2K lead. Now the 14-minute Shrine is exposed. Theolakor will go over and get that. Nobody to play aggressive on it, and he's trying to get a Blink Dagger. He's still
Radiant's middle
kind of far from it. Just holding on to that PogChamp charm that he's got for the neutral. One of my favorite tier 1s as a support.
Yeah, it's a very good item. As an offlaner as well, depending what you're playing. If you have Soul Ring, that also means you're consuming a lot of your HP, so you need some kind of extra HP regen. Even though Cobalt Cup with the speedy enchantment is probably the best one in a lot of the cases, maybe for the heroes that I do play. These initiators, especially good on Mars. Big fan of it. I think ATF was the one who started this trend, where he was picking up both of them, picking up the Windlace Phase Boots, and then you don't necessarily need to get a Blink Dagger. Like, you can get a BKB, you can get a Yule Scepter, you can get an Aura Crimson Guard if it's a good game for it, and then you can go for a Blink Dagger.
Nobody's really gone into this triangle to disrupt Makoto and his farm. He has just been here farming away. His heat map is probably this side of the map and a little bit further out in the top lane. But life has been good. He continues to just farm. He's got the Zags. He's going BKB. And it just feels as though both sides are content. So you've got Shadow Fiend, who's got the Hurricane Pike. He's also got this Mask of Madness, and he's sitting at about 10,000 net worth. So now Aurora, feeling that advantage, do have this smoke and the ability to now blink and maybe go for Tai Long. They'll throw the ward down. Blink Spear connects, and another kill for Vitoon, who continues to get involved. Finds himself 6-0-0.
Time. You just needed a pick off, and again, stealing Roshan away from Meepo, it's going to be too massive. Aghanim Scepter on Beastmaster, 16 minutes in, you're going to be more than fine. Kaori just casually drops that Golem.
Taking a lot of damage. They gotta keep it alive, and there's the Shadow Word, so they can use that.
They do see them. This Observer Ward, never mind, they don't see them anymore.
I don't really even think you can defend. You can try to hook shot.
KJ's maybe looking for an angle. And what
Find
KJ
it.
is looking for is also a very greedy item. I see brown boots into Aghanim Scepter on a position 5.
Are scanning.
He's got the point booster, and he's only about 2,000 gold away. But he is sitting bottom of the net worth with this dream of an axe. And it's not going to get much easier. Arena is down. KJ hook shot, not how that works with the arena around you. However, it is taking some time to kill him. Essence Ring, and eventually he does die. Does get the Staff of Wizardry purchase before they kill him, though.
This is the first arena, I believe, that we have seen. They managed to find opportunities even without the arena. How's Meepo doing? That's Aghanim Scepter flying to him. But I want to see them group up. Like Aurora, their team fight is out of this world. It's also pretty easy to execute with the arena, Fatal Bonds, Rock, and then just pop that Requiem. We've also seen Tai Long, how fast he dies in the previous engagement. In the previous game, he did have Crimson Guard. This time around, it's straight up Ags, which doesn't make him as tanky. Makoto.
And Whisper dead so quickly. And Makoto's got that kill, and the look over at Theo Okor, who's going to try and run. The disruption, WS from a distance. Can he get anything? Axe picked up for the Viper while all this is going on. But they won't jump for anything more. Killing that Dark Seer very quickly. It just seems as though they don't have many answers for the deficit that they're up against. And it's an Aegis that they have to fight through. Two heroes that are super farmed on the side of Aurora. The tools aren't quite there for Heroic. Not yet.
Like, even Mira did pick up the Fist of Death Facet on Lion, which is good against Meepo in theory. We still haven't seen it being used. No finger stacks. I think I've seen something similar before. I think it was Boxy who played it. And they needed some like cleave damage, so he went Treads and went Drums on his Lion.
Chaotic Offering coming through. And the Kaori Classic. As they find this Lion, the Meepos will get together. Mira on the run, another net connects. And they will get that first kill. Hookshot flies in. Kaori, he's over on this, as I would say, peninsula. And Kaori will get pushed to the low ground via the cogs, but still be dead.
They were not on the same target. Arena, no real follow-up. They need Shadow Fiend for the Requiem bounce back. They need Beastmaster, who's still holding the Aegis. So killing off two supports. Heroic finally showing some signs of life in this game.
Have that Aghanim Scepter. You can get together. It's always nice to be a Meepo when you can get something like that. But it's all about getting the net worth to kind of back it up, right? You start as this 5-4 Blight Herder. You want to be up as a 12-drop Ulamog and be that one, always one, you know, Meepo that can kind of feel like a heavy hitter.
It's under attack. Radiant's
They'll
bottom
go for Tormentor, Aurora, Makoto. Ready with the rest of his team to get a shard for Kaori, who's earned it.
He definitely did. With those rocks on towers. He's also giving them gold. He's getting some gold for himself, farming the camps around the tower, but also giving the team gold that they definitely need. Yuma still smoked. Mega Meepo is online. Optimus Prime.
Voltron for some of the older crowd. Get together. I call being left leg. 40 seconds left on this Aegis. We'll time out eventually, and I don't think they're going to be much worse for wear. Although the net worth has stayed pretty stable for the entirety of it, about 4,000.
It's the Meepo effect. He is going to be able to farm the whole map pretty much. He farms these safe spots, and he can get out of the trouble relatively easy. So far, Aurora unable to find the right moment for them, to find the real big team fight, which did allow Yuma to not die. He's been left alone. Now Blink Dagger also picked up. Aghanim Scepter, Diffusal Blade. He's also level 15, has extra bit of evasion, 15% from that talent. Gonna come in handy against Shadow Fiend.
Radiant's
This
top
Aghanim Scepter for KJ is almost a reality.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He's gotten a lot more gold since we last checked in, and he isn't bottom of the net worth anymore. 5-man smoke from Aurora. They might find Whisper. Blink, God's Rebuke, looking for the spear. Throws the arena down first. Chaotic offering from Kaori on the high ground. KJ maybe looking to help interrupt, but the TP from the Clockwork off the hook shot. Makoto not there in time to TP and Primal Roar to stop that. But they get the kill on a Whisper, and it's more of kind of the same from Aurora, where they get 1 or 2, back away, don't force all too much.
And then you have Meepo continuing to farm up. So in terms of network, they're not losing too much. Tai Long, where's the follow-up?
Troll, KJ, he doesn't have that hook shot to disrupt most of this.
Good
Vons
Cogs.
is out on a 2, Cogs pushing them back, and they won't continue on for the Viper. Kind of tough for Heroic, especially without that hook shot to find that moment to be able to really fight back. Meepo picks up the shard. He's got the dig
Dire's top tower is
upgrade now, or the dig spell available. It is technically an upgrade though, because it's unlocked.
Yeah, it reminds me of Duck Trio. Whenever you pick up that one, like first it's like 3 of them, and then they dig underground.
Starts as 1, starts as Diglett. One of the better Pokemon out there. Ooh, gets the Mega Meepo off, so Finger and all that doesn't initially matter, but the damage still overwhelming him. Has to dig, blinks away. Mira's right there, though, to drain some of this mana. And there's the Hex, the Earth Spike. They've got the tools to keep it together. They go and throw the arena, but the vacuum, is that going to be a turnaround here for Heroic, starting to do the damage? Yuma's still alive.
Shadow Fiend's
About half health. They've got the Shadow Fiend with the Requiem. There's another Earth Spike to land onto the Viper. BKB's going to be popped by WS. They've got the disruption to try and save Tai Long. He gets away from the fight. The TP attempt out from this Mars. They don't lose anything on the side of Heroic, and now they want to turn it around and get a kill here. Earth Spike lands on 2 Meepos. The blink away from Mira. They start to disengage. They're waiting up out of the high ground. They've got the Hex. They'll drain some mana, but not get enough out there. Nets happen to land a Kaori. I feel like they were necessary to try and stop Mira, but they landed on the other support. But after all is said and done,
Nothing dies.
nobody dies.
Still yet to see Aurora combine their heroes. They haven't been 5 in an engagement where Mars initiates with Urena. They follow it with the Rock, Requiem, even a Beastmaster Roar. Still yet to see that one. And King Jungles is about to finish Aghanim Scepter, which is going to be lower cooldown on rockets. Probably the most important part of that Ags is providing vision, especially because you're playing against Bloodsport Facet.
Roar. Lining up the stuns. Spear. Oh my gosh, KJ just controlled the entire time. Earth Spike, Roar, Spear, all just waiting for that bar to tick low so they can make sure that he never has a chance to hook shot into some sort of safety to TP out on. That'll slow down his Aghanim Scepter even longer. Net worth lead starting to expand. BKB for VTune.
Dire's top tower is under
Daedalus next on the docket.
Probably they don't want to overcommit, considering that Roshan could potentially respawn at any time.
Buck gets that Aghanim Scepter. Blink for the Shadow Demon. Are these the items that are going to make up the difference here to win them a fight?
A lot of items
Crimson
inside of
Guard
Heroic.
for
2
Darkseer.
auras. Ideally, you would want to have Viper with Shiva's Guard. Needs another 300 gold. And we'll be able to get it maybe
Mira.
before the next fight.
Blink, Earth Spike, the jump in, Yuma, but right into the face of this Shadow Fiend. Spear, arena. Ooh, actually Spear
doesn't
outside
miss.
the arena. They go to the vacuum at the wall. Chaotic offering from Kaori. Makoto with the BKB. So is VTune. Yuma's down low. He's going to have to dig into the ground. The hookshot comes out. They've got the cogs around on 2 of these heroes. They get the kill to Mira as well as Kaori. The turnaround's coming in from Heroic. They go and throw these right clicks on a KJ. It's VTune against the Clockwork, but he's got to focus elsewhere because Makoto, he's surrounded by all these heroes on the side of Heroic. They get the kill to the Beastmaster. They take out a 3rd. Tai Long looking to get even more, but Mars as well as the Shadow Fiend are out of harm's way. However, a good fight here for Heroic. One that finally goes their way. They've been waiting for this a long time.
WS. Arena plus the spear did not connect. He did spear 2 of them away. I think it did connect onto the trees, but they were outside of the arena. And I also think for this one in particular, he could have chosen the different facet, because you have Shadow Fiend, you have Beastmaster and Lion, which means you have that explosive damage, and with the Victory Feast facet, it would allow you to get extra bit of that burst. It gives damage to your allies, it gives damage to you, which you kind of need right now. Like, Beastmaster did die in the previous fight as well, unable to kill anything other than one hero, which is a bit surprising one. Aurora, the team fight execution is just not there yet.
Whisper, big impact with the vacuum. They will find Kaori and kill him quickly. Spear does connect and attach to a tree on Yuma. Rockets, abundance there.
I love to see this inventory. Brown Boots Aghanim Scepter. He sold his magic stick that he did have.
Nice. Is this... they turned around the last fight. This is surely not a grief. But if I saw this in my pub, I'd be a little upset.
Yeah, I think everybody would.
I'd be a little annoyed. Whisper hit with the roar, and they get the Aegis for Yuma. The disruption save on the finger. Whisper's still alive, but he's going to be hexed and killed. Mira is able to help out. They got the kill on a just one. They're thinking about the Requiem. That's going to fly through. Hits onto the Meat Bow as well as the Viper. They hit the Viper Strike onto the Shadow Fiend. BKB, TP out. He'll get the escape.
It's Meepo time now. He's the one in charge of this game. Again, Arena hits onto 3 of them, but there's no follow-up. Vtune and WS are not on the same page throughout the whole game. Kaori looks very dead here.
Net from afar. Quite the fisherman when you can cast a net that far. And they got the catch that they needed. Tai Long gonna grab this shrine, and this net worth lead is starting to dwindle down to 0. Looking at the Dota Plus win probability, it is favoring Heroic.
For a good reason. They're running out of damage. Like, they are having some damage issues in longer fights. If Meepo's not dying, they're starting to have a lot of these issues. 2 supports, they just instantly die. You can't really burst Meepo anymore, especially with the Aegis online.
Agreed, and he's got it for 340. And we'll see. Does Vtune even have anything to really bring this back? It's just, like you said, it's very disjointed.
Most of the fights are. I mean, he's 9-0-0. He does have 35 Necromastery, but still not really feeling it. I think they need to be able to kill the rest, try to survive, and then play from there. Potentially use buybacks on their supports to come back into the fight. Problem is, Meepo as the hero isn't really investing anything. He has like 2 big abilities, which is Mega Meepo and potentially Dig, but other than that, he has no cooldowns. Like, he's ready to fight at any time.
Trying to latch you with a net, potentially, like we see here. Mira will die to Whisper with the Ion Shell on these Meepos. And the push is on for Heroic. Trying to get the Iascati, and then maybe looking towards a Bloodthorn.
You can scale so, because you're buying super expensive items on the hero, it never feels like you just stop scaling. And you're buying like Scotty, Bloodthorn, as you mentioned. You can eat your Ags, upgrade your Blink Dagger, eat your Ags, and then just get insane amount of, like, we're talking about items that cost like 6,000.
Right.
Disperser, Scotty.
I mean, you kind of hope. It's 2026. Everybody should be eating their Ags, and we'll see, you know, how that goes for Meepo when he's got the extra inventory space and is able to get, like you said, these big items. And it's all Meepo coming from behind. Like, he didn't have a good start, and he had to figure out how to recover.
They didn't put enough pressure with some of these arenas. They were just not connecting. I don't think we've seen one Requiem Arena combo. I don't think we've
No,
seen
really not.
Roar inside of the arena as well.
It's been really disjointed, and you know, the easy excuse is just say the stand-in effect, right?
Radiant's bottom tower.
I
But-
mean, your stand-in is beyond godlike.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not really the stand-in effect totally, but there's just a little bit of miscommunication going on. I think, truthfully, the game's not in this place where it's too far gone. You can figure it out and still have time to dominate the game, truthfully, if you can put the combos together.
Not sure if it's a bit too late at this point. They are starting to scale. I see Tai Long also thinking about getting Scotty. Not sure if they need double Scotty. Feels like a bit of an overkill. Let Meepo get one, and then you can start thinking about getting a different item.
What would you rather for Viper? As they go for Kaori again. Get the catch, get the kill. Yuma now on a mega kill streak. Beastmaster gonna TP out. As that Iascotty is finished for the Meepo. I'm gonna keep an eye on Tailong's inventory, because like you said, you probably don't want to. And I would expect him to switch out.
Yeah, I mean, you can go for like different stuff depending what they need. If you want to scale a little bit more, start building into like some Manta. BKB is a good choice as well, so you can get out of the arena. Not so good against Golem, not so good against Roar, but it also gives you protection. If you feel like you need a little bit of extra control, Hex is definitely a good option.
Yeah. I feel like Hex would be really good here, especially trying to potentially shut down this SF or get that moment where you can kind of get that jump.
Yeah, because he already has 9-second BKB, didn't even pop it.
Right.
Now he needs to start thinking, how do I upgrade? Like, what's going to be my next item? Scotty feels good, but again, I don't think they need the second Scotty.
Still has it queued for the moment, but that never means you're definitely going to buy it. Looking for this Silver Edge for V-Tune, and Beastmaster wants the refresher. So does the Mars. No surprise. But if they're going to refresh, you got to expect that the combo's coming.
You use one, get it out of the system, get that bad one out of the system,
And then the good one
go for the
comes.
like big 3-man arena.
I could see that. Get
In
behind
theory,
that.
it should also be relatively easy for them to use the combo as long as they click their BKBs, because there are no BKB piercing abilities other than a hook shot, maybe Viper Strike, but if you're getting the
Mars
jump,
in trouble. Earth Spike
Bulwark.
now, Theocooler popping the Lincolns. But WS trying to run back, nosedive in. Chaotic Offering flies through from Kaori. They're trying to help this Mars get out. Hookshot blocked, but they will TP out and survive.
this time around they were holding it for a very long time. Arena wasn't even used. Potentially ready for the next round with Requiem.
Almost a hook shot that lands in on the Mars, but just not getting it there, and he's able to TP out. So WS survives, forced to pop that BKB. But Heroic with this 4,000 net worth lead, and Rosh timer getting a little bit low, and then we'll see what extra time we've got. A lot of heroes hitting those next talents, and +2 on the power cogs to hit for this Clockwork, who did pick up that Ags, now has an Aeon disc. So the farm is getting there for KJ.
You could definitely get some extra farm with Rocket Flare, with overclocking. No GPM, however. Would definitely love to get that one. Would give him enough money to have buyback for potentially next fight. And the game did slow down. Aurora, seems like they lost the momentum in the last 10 minutes or so. Couldn't find any openings. Mikoto.
Nosedive in on Makoto, Viper Strike. Thinking about the Roar, but the Lotus was there. So they just don't have a way to turn around and stop this aggression that was coming in. And Whisper ends up getting the kill on Makoto. He's dead with no buyback. A long time gone. And this extra timer on Rosh is very short.
This game reminds me a lot about Vici Gaming, game number 1 and game 2, when they played earlier today against Liquid, where they kind of played okay for the first 15-ish minutes. Aurora in this one played, I'd say, 20 minutes, and then they just kind of stopped playing. They couldn't find anything, couldn't find any openings.
And we're content with the movements of the other team.
Yeah.
We're kind of seeing a lot of that. Meepo was so far behind, too. You know, I hate to harp on one thing, but I'm very impressed with what Yuma and the rest of the team have been able to accomplish to pull this one back and get this Meepo to a point where you feel so overly confident to just jump into anything that's in your way.
I wouldn't say impressed by Yuma. This is kind of what you expect from him whenever he plays Meepo.
Fair
It's just
enough.
like he set the bar pretty high, so his performance always delivers on the Meepo games. Level 24 as well. It's a very expensive inventory that he does have.
Dire are scanning.
Looking for Bloodthorn. Did Tawang end up buying out? He bought the Orb of Frost, but he actually hasn't committed yet. Arena down, and the net onto WS. Mega Meepo comes in, nosedive, and now Viper Strike onto the Mars. Hook shot comes through, and that's going to be a kill onto the Mars. So they continue to just kind of throw one of the spells that should be combined, and they're not quite putting them all together yet.
Yeah, not sure what the idea is. He pushes it with the spear. I think he wanted to immediately initiate with the spear into the arena. Sometimes when you are using it, you click it, but if it's on the edge, it doesn't connect. The Mars players will know. It's much easier now. It's been much easier than it was before. The arena formation time has been reduced from 0.3 to 0.1 second long time ago, which makes it easy to use, but sometimes when you're like that on the very edge, it makes it very difficult, but not sure what the whole idea was, because you're definitely not killing Meepo with Lion and Mars there.
Tawang a little bit low, and soaks up, beats all that. Mira ends up dead, and now Yuma's up on your high ground, ready to just take your base. And as the old saying goes, all your base belong to us.
Exactly, that's a cheat code, and I didn't know you were a little cheater, but
It's originally actually a mistranslation from a game that was translated from Japanese to English, I believe, and they messed up the translation. But yes,
is
it
that
is
from
also
StarCraft or Warcraft?
I think the
original
is a StarCraft.
StarCraft,
yes,
yeah.
with power overwhelming, and I can see everything.
I think this tells you the story about the game, that your Lion has 0 finger stacks, and you have carry that has been godlike for the past 20 minutes and didn't get a single kill on the board or an assist.
Yeah, it's a weird one, right? Shadowfiend not having any deaths. No deaths onto your Shadowfiend is like the dream. And yet, it hasn't really parlayed into anything too heavy. It's definitely a little bit of just disjointment. And Tawang did also commit, by the way, to that extra Eye of Scotty.
Makes him super tanky anyway. You're playing against Shadowfiend. His Satanic is not going to be as effective for now. It's Mask of Madness that he can disassemble. And he's also a ranged hero. It's also very good against Beastmaster to stop him from life stealing. And Mikoto is level 24 with Refresher, with Shiva's Guard. In theory, this lineup should be able to team fight, but we haven't seen it yet from Aurora.
Not yet, not as 5. Tawang will stand on the high ground, then they'll get the blink into the spear back into the tier 3 tower. Disruption is there for the save. He's the one who's got the Aegis. They go to the Requiem. They should be able to get the kill, at least on that first life. These zeros on the side of Heroic are getting a little bit low. They get the kill to Whisper and Theolacor. That's 2 for Makoto. The Primal Roar comes through, but Makoto getting a little bit low. They got the kill to Kaori. It's going to be Meepo into the base. BKB is going to be popped by Makoto. The run is back for WS and the rest of the team, but they did buy back on Kaori. So Yuma, he is still alive, still healthy. Buybacks committed by both heroes that died on the side of Heroic as well. The Satanic is finished for the Shadow Fiender. Spike onto Tai Lung. and has that Lotus, feels a little bit more confident to go back up out of the high ground and try and get something. Disruption over by the tier 3. Yumazin looking for this Shadow Fiend who's silenced with a Bloodthorn, but they don't quite have the damage to get the kill. He goes into the Mega Meepo and will back away from the base of Aurora for a moment. Is this all they're committing for? Do they want more?
It was a nice play there from WS. His refresher just got delivered. When he initiated with the first arena, his courier went through the whole enemy team, delivered him refresher, and then he was able to get the second arena, spears them back, uses BKB to run away, and only losing a tier 3 tower, also forcing buyback from Whisper, which is pretty big.
Only losing the tier 3, 25 soon for Tylon. What's next for him is AC. And they do get the Tormentor, so that's now Shard for this Darkseer. Quick, easy Torm. And Whisper would like Hex next.
I think they need one Hex. That's why I was thinking maybe Tai Long wants to get it, but if Whisper, he's still very far away from it.
Yeah, it's far.
He did buy a BKB, which he didn't use yet. Oh man, this inventory, it just looks so expensive. This has to be like one of the more expensive inventories. Not many, it's a combination of 3 items that I don't think we are seeing on any other hero. These are like 6,000 plus gold items. Bloodthorn, Scotty slightly under 6k, and Disperser as well.
Definitely an expensive inventory. What did Makoto took the minus 25 seconds Primal Roar cooldown, so now at 35 seconds.
You could have potentially 3 roars in a fight. 1 normal, refresh, and then have it off cooldown again.
The fights do last that long. It's certainly a possibility. Now taking over the outpost. A little while till Rosh is back up. So some time to farm. Makoto looking for a Disperser.
Another expensive item.
Getting that gold wherever they can. Getting some of that allowance money. You ever have an allowance as a kid?
Yeah.
How much was it?
I can't remember. Inflation ate it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's when you
How
really
else would I
felt
buy?
it.
Like, how else would I buy stuff when I was a kid?
I have no idea. I was going through the same thing. I was getting like $5.
Oh, back in the days, $5. That was a lot of money. Yeah.
Way.
That's a lot of MTG cards back then.
That's wow. I don't know about that. I wish I was playing back then. I had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards in my possession back then.
Now, I was really stupid as a kid. I didn't use my allowance money to buy myself a house back in the 90s. Yeah. Back when prices were really low.
Reasonable and still expensive for the time. Yeah. If I just saved all that allowance, I'd probably get one Nintendo Switch 2 game. Still looking for this Silver Edge for V2.
Yeah, feels like he's been looking for that item for a really long time. Then he switched to Satanic.
Yep.
Which is not going to be as effective. There is Shiva's Guard, there is Scotty on Viper, double Scotty actually. It's very difficult for them to blink in, knowing that there is Aghanim Scepter on Clockwork, so he keeps spamming these rockets. Very difficult to initiate Shiva's Guard. Mikoto does have Blink Dagger, but did not want to commit.
Spear on a Tylon, but the heroes don't commit forward. Yuma just takes that away. They took that sentry out a little bit too slow, and they gave up that ops. They have some vision on the high ground that has just been taken away from the side of Heroic, so they lose their ward. KOR getting credit for the gold there, and back into the overclocking. Who will be the first to make the move? That's the real question. Who can make that first move? SF would love to get to that level 25. He's close up on it as well.
Radiant are scanning.
But you can kind of see, ooh, Yuma might be the one who's caught this Earth Spike, but yeah. The frustrating thing about going up against Meepo, you throw something like a finger that should feel like a good amount of damage, and he just soaks it all in with
He
Mega
came in,
Meepo.
yeah, he came with the main Meepo, gets the Mega Meepo, and then back to farming.
Waiting for just the next Rosh. We're not quite at the point where I'm going to say, hey, we're going 60, but
It definitely feels like it.
at the pace we're at, it's a possibility. We're far from it. We're only 3/4 of the way there.
They've been through the toughest part of the game. Lion did get one finger stack.
Did he?
He did.
Calls for celebration. Lotus reflects that roar back. Yuma gets together. Chaotic offering. Mira's in trouble. He'll end up dead. Makoto with a refresh. Throws a roar out on a Whisper. But is the damage even enough? Viper strike from Tailong, the Requiem. But V-Tune, he hasn't died up to this point. He's trying to do all the damage he can.
Mega
He's
Meepo
surrounded by Mega Meepo, by this Viper. They finally get a kill onto the Shadow Fiend. The net, the arena once again. The spear to try and run with the BKB and the TP out. The damage is not going to be enough. The Earth Spike connects, and they just cannot kill the Meepo.
He was so low. He was actually very close to dying this time around. They threw
Mira.
everything on top of him. Mira, he tried to go. He tried to go maybe potentially kill the Meepo, but this is not Mega Meepo. This is Super Ultra Giga Meepo that we're seeing right now. Didn't die a single time in a 48-minute game. 8-0 and 9 out of 22 kills.
Every time you see Mega Meepo, it's
Yeah.
Annihilator 4.
Yeah. Dealing 30,000 damage and still losing the fight while the enemy team dealt 18,000 damage. These numbers are pretty crazy.
Wow, balanced in all things, that I can double your damage and still get how many kills?
He soaks up so much. He also has Titanic with Rattle Cage, so those projectiles, they're gonna be shooting up.
It sounds strong.
And
but
he's sitting at almost 300 damage on Meepos.
did they even kill anybody? Mars caught, and he's dead again.
Hook shot from
Unlike for
downtown.
Yuma. A hook shot lands. They've gotten the net. The right clicks for Tailong, and they'll jump into the fountain, and then, oh, fountain, meet Mega Meepo. Mega Meepo, fountain, you don't do any damage to me. This, I'm going to say, doesn't feel not overpowered.
Well, everybody would play it then, you know, if it feels overpowered. Just go to... Are these professional players stupid? Why don't they go to demo mode and practice Meepo for like 30 minutes before the match and then take him?
That's not what I'm saying, but I get you. I deserve it. All right, V-Tune, Requiem. And that will be on the edge of Tailong's BKB. But the BKB, the hook shot from KJ, that'll lock down V-Tune. He's died for the second time. He doesn't have buyback. GG is called, and Heroic will take this series over Aurora 2-1.
Oh man, what a performance. I think whoever's going to be playing against Heroic, I think you already should have, but sometimes you do forget you